Just started university, and my beautiful tutor turns out to be the mother of my child. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 451 Set off again, trip to Sanaya. Sibeo is now a black belt. He can easily complete the above movements without any problem. The man looked at Sibeo on the balance beam with excitement and satisfaction. Little guy, not bad. The 7-year-old Sibeo is already much taller than his peers, and some people believe he is in the 3rd or 4th grade. Standing on the balance beam, he did the movements again. Zhang Yuxi loves her son so much that she looks at Sibeo worriedly and keeps saying, "Sibeo, be careful, don't fall." Sibeo on the balance beam smiled. "Mom, don't worry, I'm fine." Lin Feng is also worried about the child, but he doesn't show it. Sibeo is eager to try and also goes up to try. Not to mention, he does it in a good manner, a little worse than Sibeo. Dabeo weighed his chubby body and didn't try. Only Sanbeo doesn't like sports and stands aside to watch. Originally, they had agreed to it, but they suddenly changed their minds and dragged Lin Feng to stop him from leaving. They insisted that Sibeo transfer to another school and promised that all fees would be waived. "I know that your family is well off and doesn't lack this little money. But this is the greatest sincerity we can offer. The child is already more than 7 years old, and he grows faster than his peers and has a good physique. What does this mean? He is a good seedling. In the end, he actually cheated. Today, you must give me a definite answer. What is the choice? Isn't this forcing himself?" Just when he said he was considering it, he was detained and said a lot of things. Lin Feng held his forehead and said, "We need to discuss this." "Okay, you can discuss it in my office." It seems that no matter what he says today, he must give a result. Lin Feng asked his wife and children to come in. Zhang Yuxi looked at the two of them in surprise and whispered to Lin Feng, "Husband, when are we leaving? The children are hungry." Lin Feng looked helpless and said, "The matter has not been settled yet." Zhang Yuxi was surprised. Half an hour has passed, and it has not been settled yet. Isn't it just about going to school? Didn't we agree on it before? Lin Feng waved and told Sibeo about the transfer. Sibeo exclaimed, "If this happens, I won't be able to see my good brothers anymore." Everyone. Lin Feng nodded. "Not only will I not be able to see them, but I won't be going to the same school as my brothers, sisters, and younger sister in the future." Sibeo panicked. "Then will I live at home? I don't want to live outside." Lin Feng nodded. "Yes, Dad will pick you up from school." Sibeo exclaimed, and said with relief, "That's okay. Although it's a pity, there's nothing I can do about it. I will be strong." Everyone. Sibeo made an analogy, just like Sanbeo's sister. In order to learn music, she would go to her grandmother's house to learn. "I can do it too." Lin Feng understood what Sibeo wanted to express. It means that if Sanbeo can study alone, he can do it too. Moreover, Sibeo has never been a very sensitive person since he was a child, except when it comes to eating. He has a cheerful and optimistic personality, doesn't cry much, and is always happy. Lin Feng lovingly touched his head. "Have you decided?" Sibeo nodded. "I have decided." Dabeo and Sibeo, who played best with Sibeo, were reluctant to part with him. Sibeo sighed. "No one will help me manage discipline in the future." Sibeo pointed at Dabeo and said, "There's still brother Dabeo. As long as he speaks or gets angry, everyone will behave well." Dabeo. Sibeo nodded helplessly. The man's surname was Kiao, and he clapped his hands happily. "Then it's decided. Have fun. I will negotiate with your school about the transfer." On the way back, Lin Feng took the children to eat some snacks to fill their stomachs. Lin Feng cooked in the kitchen, and Zhang Yuxi helped. When Sibeo had nothing to do, he would be in the workshop, and the task of peeling garlic was Zhang Yuxi's. The children played by themselves. Zhang Yuxi lowered her head and asked, "Honey, the school is far from us. It takes half an hour to drive there. The school is during rush hour and there will be traffic jams." Lin Feng nodded. "There's nothing we can do about it. We'll see when the time comes." Zhang Yuxi thought for a while. "How about this? I'll take them to school in the future, and you take Sibeo." Lin Feng shook his head. "Wife, you should have a good rest in the morning." Zhang Yuxi was touched, but said, "If I feel tired, I can just take a nap when I get back." It takes more than 10 minutes to walk or more than 20 minutes, and it takes half an hour to go back and forth. They have to leave at 7:30. Usually, Lin Feng takes the children to school. Zhang Yuxi can sleep until dawn. Except for some special cases, Zhang Yuxi has never taken her children to school. The next day, the family went to Sanaya. This time they still played diving, but there was also water surfing. Sanbeo didn't participate as usual, sitting on the beach playing with sand. Zhang Yuxi accompanied her. Let's build a castle together, okay? Sanbeo answered loudly, okay. On the other side, the three huskies and Lin Feng were all learning how to surf under the guidance of the coach. Sanbeo and Lin Feng were the first to learn. The two could surf a short distance, but they had to wait until there were waves to test their results. Sanbeo and Sanbeo were still trying to learn. The coach took a look and said, "Get ready, the waves are coming soon." The four of them were ready to go, nervous and expectant. The first time they surfed, Sanbeo and Lin Feng were very successful and experienced the wonderful feeling of surfing. Sanbeo was washed into the water by the waves, and Sanbeo held on for a while. Surfing made Lin Feng become childish all of a sudden. "Come on, let's continue." Zhang Yuxi could hear their laughter from such a distance. The afternoon passed quickly, and they took their surfboards and went to have a drink. The children drank juice, Zhang Yuxi drank beverages, and Lin Feng drank cocktails. Sanbeo took a sip and said to Lin Feng, "Dad, didn't the coach say there were big waves? Let's go surf the big waves." Zhang Yuxi looked at Lin Feng and the meaning was very clear. "You are not allowed to go." Lin Feng wanted to go in his heart. But it was related to his son's safety, so he coughed lightly. "Don't be too impatient, wait until later to surf the big waves. Look, Sanbeo's sister and Sanbeo's brother are not very skilled yet." Zhang Yuxi smiled with satisfaction. Then he said, "Yes, wait until you practice more, Dad will go surfing the big waves with you." Sanbeo's face fell, and his interest was greatly reduced. Okay. However, his mood was immediately captured by the food and he became happy again. He is really a carefree child, who knows no sorrow and is easy to talk to. This time, the family went to the water park. The children have long been over 1.2 meters tall and can play. Zhang Yuxi couldn't help but sigh, time flies so fast. I remember that year when I came here to play, and Lan hadn't gotten married yet, and the children seemed to have just learned to walk not long ago. Lin Feng nodded after recalling, "That's right, time is unforgiving." This time, the family experienced a perfect trip to the water park. Even Lin Feng was tired and didn't want to cook. Prepare to go out to eat later. What is the characteristic of Sanaya? Of course, it is all kinds of seafood feasts. Because it is close to the sea, the price of seafood is very cheap. This time we didn't go to a food stall, but to eat high-end seafood. Zhang Yuxi took a bite. "Honey, you know what? The taste is really different." The children also loved it. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Let me study it when I get home, and I'll make it for you later." It's so lucky to have such a chef at home, isn't it? Chapter 452 Sanbeo leaves home. In a blink of an eye, the holiday is over and it's time to go back to school. This is Sanbeo's last class at school. After school, all the boys in class 6 reluctantly said goodbye to Sanbeo. Along the way, Sanbeo was unhappy. Unhappy? Lin Feng asked knowingly. Sanbeo nodded, "Yes, I won't be able to see these friends in the future." "It doesn't matter. You can still go back when you have time in the future. Besides, there will be new children in the new school." The other babies came to comfort Sanbeo. Seeing that he was still unhappy, Lin Feng coaxed him and said, "What do you want to eat? Dad will make it for you today." Sanbeo's eyes lit up and he read a string of names. Lin Feng couldn't help but smile. This is Sanbeo. There is nothing that can't be solved by a delicious meal. If one meal is not enough, then have 2 meals. In the evening, after having a sumptuous meal, Lin Feng packed Sanbeo's luggage. The house is too far from the school. The school dismissal time at noon is unified. It takes 40 minutes to pick up the children and then send them back. Where is the time for a nap at home? Therefore, Sanbeo eats lunch at school and sleeps at school. Lin Feng packed the clothes for changing and made the bedding, which was Sanbeo's favorite Ultraman Sakura. In addition, he also prepared Ultraman toys for Sanbeo. As he packed, Lin Feng felt uncomfortable. The child is growing up and will be farther and farther away from him in the future. Today it is a 40-hour drive, and in the future it may be a 4-hour train. Later, It may be a 4-hour flight. Lin Feng specially prepared a few more pairs of sneakers for Sibeo. After packing, he called Sibeo up. These are the clothes Dad prepared for you. The weather is cold, you must remember to put on more clothes, okay? These are the toys Dad brought you. You can play with them when you have nothing to do. Also, these are sneakers, and these are socks. Remember. Sibeo nodded. Remember it, Dad? Lin Feng was still worried. If you have any problems, ask Teacher Kiao for help. If you have no money, you can ask him for money. Dad will give it back to him when the time comes. Sibeo hummed. In fact, he will only not come back for lunch at noon. But Lin Feng couldn't help feeling sad. These children, I have brought up little by little from 2 months old to 7 years old. Thinking back to when they were a few months old, it seems like yesterday, vivid in my mind. The next day, Lin Feng woke up Sibeo. After so many years, Sibeo was still the first to wake up. Wife, I'm sending the kids to school. The alarm will ring soon. Get up and have breakfast with the kids. Zhang Yuxi hummed in a daze, hugged Lin Feng and kissed him. Thank you for your hard work, husband. Lin Feng drove to the school, and Teacher Kiao was already waiting. Give me the things, I'll take him to the dormitory. Lin Feng shook his head. I'll do it. Okay. Arriving at the dormitory, Lin Feng looked around. It was a room for 6 people. Sibeo was on the upper bunk. The other beds were already occupied by children. Teacher Kiao said, the children in this dormitory are similar to him. They are all freshmen this year, in the same class. Lin Feng nodded and began to pack things for Sibeo. Sibeo will help, Dad. I can take care of myself. Lin Feng nodded. Yeah, I know Sibeo is the best. Teacher Kiao looked at the time. Okay, it's almost time for class, let's go. The sound of the radio was already heard outside, and Lin Feng watched Sibeo leave. Dad, drive slowly when you go back. Remember to pick me up after school. Okay, Dad won't forget. On the other side, Zhang Yuxi was sleeping soundly. Erbeo and others had already dressed and washed up, and went to wake Zhang Yuxi up. Mom, it's time for breakfast. Zhang Yuxi hadn't woken up yet. You guys eat. Erbeo said in a loud voice. Mom, you still have to take us to school later. 3 seconds later. Zhang Yuxi opened her eyes with an ah. That's right, she still has to take the children to school. She got up quickly. Mom will be down soon, you guys go eat first. By the way, have you washed up? The children said as they went downstairs. I have already washed up, Mom will be down soon. Zhang Yuxi quickly washed her face, put on some essence, packed up and went downstairs. The children had almost finished eating. Zhang Yuxi saw that her breakfast was also served, and she was touched. Thank you, babies. After a quick breakfast, the children had packed up and were waiting for her to go out. Mom is here. There was still time. Zhang Yuxi sent the children to school, and after watching their backs disappear, only then did she come to her senses. Oh, I almost got late today, it's really not right. After going back, Zhang Yuxi washed the dishes, and Lin Feng also came back. Honey, how is it? Did Sibeo cry? He didn't cry, but his eyes were a little red. He couldn't bear to leave me. Lin Feng sat down. How about you? Are you late today? Zhang Yuxi's face was hot. No. Lin Feng pretended to be surprised. Hey, I'm not late, not bad. How could Zhang Yuxi not hear that he was teasing her? She pursed her lips and punched him. What do you mean? Am I such a person? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. I saw it clearly on the surveillance camera. What do you think? Oh, she even forgot that there were surveillance cameras at home. Okay, let's not dwell on this issue, honey. I'm going to class. I'll pick up the kids in the evening. You go pick up Sibeo. Can you make it in the evening? Sure, I'll adjust the classes during this period and have classes in the morning from now on. Okay then, will you come back for lunch? It depends. I'll call you later. Okay. Chapter 453 The teacher comes to eat. At noon. Zhang Yuxi couldn't come back because of something. Lin Feng picked up the children for lunch and called Sibeo. Sibeo? Can you hear me? I'm Dad. Can you hear me, Dad? What's up? What are you doing now? Have you eaten? I'm eating in the cafeteria. Wow, there are so many people here. What did you eat? Tofu, meat, vegetables, and soup. How does it taste? It's okay, but not as good as Dad's. Remember to take a nap after eating, okay? Get along well with the kids in the same dormitory, and find Teacher Kiao if you encounter any difficulties. After hanging up the phone, Lin Feng smiled. Come on, let's eat. After eating, the children rested for a while, and Lin Feng washed the dishes. The nap does not require Lin Feng's supervision. The children can do it by themselves. Lin Feng called Sibeo again. Sibeo, are you going to take a nap? It will take a while, I'm playing with my good friends. Then remember to go to bed after playing for a while. Yes, Dad, I'm hanging up. I'm not used to the sound of Sibeo's chirping and jumping up and down. Before, when Sanbeo and Zhang Yuxi went to Shanghai, it took Lin Feng several days to get used to it. In the afternoon, Lin Feng made an order for rice and prepared the dishes. He drove to pick up Sibeo from school. What a coincidence, Sibeo is also in class 6. Seeing the smile on his son's face, Lin Feng felt relieved. Sure enough, as soon as he got in the car, Sibeo told Lin Feng about his roommates, and Lin Feng listened with a smile. He was still very relieved in his heart that he could get along with the children in a friendly way. When he got home, Zhang Yuxi and the children had just arrived home. The family missed Sibeo very much after not seeing him for a day. The children sat together and chatted, and Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng listened in, asking a few questions from time to time. In the evening, Sibeo suddenly said something. Dad, actually I missed you guys today. But I'm a boy, I have to be brave. So I didn't miss you much later. But, I saw you, and I missed you again. Lin Feng touched his son's head lovingly. If you miss Dad, you can call Dad and tell him. Actually, Dad missed you today, and so did Mom. A week later, Sibeo had completely gotten used to the new school. The teachers and children were very nice. Most of the students in the class were boys, and Sibeo had a good relationship with them. On this day, the children came back. They said that the teacher would select some students from the class to go to the countryside with the teacher. In fact, it was to deliver stationery to the children in the countryside, and the time was on Saturday. Each class sent 3 representatives. In class 6, Sanbeo, as a class leader, went. Dabeo in class 8 was going, but Erbeo was not selected. The ones who were selected were the sports committee member and the study committee member. Xiaoru and Xianshan in class 7 were not selected. They transferred to other schools, and the class leaders had already been selected. Lin Feng asked, do parents want to go? No, we are enough. It is understood that this time pencil cases, pencils, erasers, and textbooks will be given. Senior grades also received school bags. These are all bought with class fees. Lin Feng casually asked, then can you bring the books and textbooks you have read? The 2 monitors at home immediately called their respective teachers. Honestly, you can, but don't bring them too old. Lin Feng smiled and said, oh, then you go and pack them up, and send them to the children in the countryside tomorrow. After a while, the teacher said such a thing in the group. It is recommended that the extracurricular books and textbooks that are not used at home be packed up together and brought to school tomorrow. On Saturday, we will leave at 2:30 p.m. at the school gate. When we come back, the car will take each student home. Parents don't need to pick up their children. At 6:30 p.m., teacher Yu left in advance because of something. It was teacher Zhao from class 8 who sent the Lin family's children back. Erbeo and his friends are the last group. At this point, it is almost dark. Lin Feng invited teacher Zhao to have dinner with him. Dabeo held teacher Zhao's hand. Let's go, teacher Zhao, let's have dinner. Because Dabeo was the class monitor, teacher Zhao and Dabeo had a good relationship. I'm so sorry, I'm sorry to bother you. Everyone in the school knew that Lin Feng's family was rich, but they were low-key and educated their children very well. But when teacher Zhao came to the villa, she was quite surprised. She thought there would be servants or something, but she didn't expect that it was all the father who took care of it. Wow, these are the fruit trees you planted yourself. Yes. The children picked some apples and peaches and took them to school to share. After teacher Zhao entered the house, she found that the decoration was luxurious and warm at the same time. It didn't feel messy, but it was very tidy. Zhang Yuxi and Sanbeo were in the living room. When they saw teacher Zhao come in, they smiled and responded. Teacher Zhao smiled and said, excuse me. Zhang Yuxi shook her head, no, not at all. She now has more time to pick up and drop off the children, and she has a very good relationship with teacher Zhao and teacher Yu. Lin Feng was busy in the kitchen. Dinner will be ready soon. At the table, teacher Zhao was still worried that there was not enough food. Lin Feng smiled and said, I always cook a lot, Teacher Zhao, don't worry about eating. Teacher Zhao got the point. Oh, is it Dad who cooks? Dabao said like offering a treasure, Teacher Zhao, you should eat quickly, Dad's cooking is the best. Sanbao also became active, yeah, you will know after trying it. The three huskies also promoted Lin Feng's cooking skills. Teacher Zhao took a bite and her eyes lit up, not bad, it tastes really good. This meal made Teacher Zhao feel like she was in a high-end restaurant. It was so delicious. Chapter 454 Taking Root in Guangzhou. After dinner, Teacher Zhao asked about Sibao's transfer to sports school. Sibao was only 7 years old, and the teacher was worried that he was too young and would not be able to adapt to the environment there. Sibao said, it's similar to the previous school. We have Chinese, math, art, and music. However, we have to learn all kinds of sports-related knowledge, such as swimming. We occasionally have swimming lessons and play football. We have a special swimming class every day. Lin Feng touched Sibao's head lovingly. Teacher Qiao and the others will not let Sibao and his children receive training too early. The primary school courses will continue, but the original physical education classes in the morning or afternoon will become activity classes every day. Compared to Chinese and math exams, they have to answer questions about sports-related knowledge, etc. Sibao said with anticipation. The teacher said that he will take us horseback riding. Teacher Zhao nodded after hearing this, then I feel relieved. I am mainly worried that the children are too young and will get hurt. Lin Feng thanked Teacher Zhao for his concern. I also asked Sibao when he came back. There was no pressure training, and he had a lot of fun. Sibao nodded, yes, it's fun. After seeing Teacher Zhao off, the children were allowed to wash and go to bed. Days passed one by one. In the evening, Sibao would tell them what they had played at school today. There were many boys in the class, so it was very lively during the physical education class. Lin Feng cared more about the children's health and made delicious food for them every day. It is said that you should eat well in the morning, eat enough at noon, and eat less at night. Now, Lin Feng gets up earlier than before to make a nutritious breakfast for the children. Before he knew it, the first half of the second grade was over. The children's final exam results were also released. Sibao scored 92 points in Chinese and 98 points in mathematics. The topic of the Chinese composition was to write about the small animals they knew. Sibao wrote about Dabe at home. It was good at the beginning, the description was very good, and the difficult words were all written. There was no pinyin to replace them. He said that he and Dabe were good friends and wrote about their favorite games. Well, hide and seek. Count from 1 to 20, and then Sibao wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lin Feng thought that his son was making up the word count, but he had no evidence. Then, the evidence came. They played 3 times and wrote 60 numbers. In conclusion, I like our Dabe the most. Lin Feng. Zhang Yuxi saw that Lin Feng looked at the test paper with a strange expression, and came over to ask, what's wrong? Let me see. Zhang Yuxi is a teacher, and she has the common problem of teachers. Her son wrote an essay like this. How could she ignore it? Looking at Sibao playing happily, Zhang Yuxi held her forehead. Forget it, let it be, let Sibao read more extracurricular books later. Dabao and Sanbao both did well in the exam. The deducted points questions were all about writing short essays based on pictures. Dabao lost 1 point, and Sanbao lost 0.5 points. Erbao wrote a short story about his father and mother. About his mother, it was about the time when Zhang Yuxi almost made them late. About his father, it was about the time when he bought a jewelry gift for Lin Feng. Therefore, he got full marks. In the evening, Lin Feng mentioned the essay written by Sibao and thought of a video he saw on the internet. Will you write about the weather in the future, and write something like, the wind is blowing, warring. Sibao, the clever little boy, said, oh, Dad, you are so great, you can have this. Lin Feng. Son, can't you see that Dad is making fun of you? This time, except for Erbao and Sanbao, they all have winter vacation homework. When the children were in the 3rd grade of elementary school, Lin Jiajin had settled down in Guangzhou. He bought a second-hand house of 120 square meters. After a little renovation, he moved in with his wife and children. Because of the store, Lin Jiajin hoped that the house should not be too far away from the store. But the housing prices nearby have risen to 50,000 per square meter with the use of the university town. It has only been a year, and the new buildings are going up. Even the old houses around are already 20,000 to 30,000. This is all hyped up by people, especially the construction of the library and various facilities. Make this area a well-known area in Guangzhou. The house that Lin Jiajin lives in now is still the house that Lin Feng bought before, and it was sold to him according to the buyer. Lin Jiajin saved several million and was grateful to Lin Feng. After the family settled down, Wang Lu was still very satisfied with the house. The location is good, the lighting is good, and the area is large. At the beginning, she was worried about whether she and her son could come to Guangzhou. Wang Lu smiled and said, "Big cities are different." Lin Jiajin smiled and said, "Live in this house first, and buy another one when you have money, and give it to Xiaoan as a wedding house." Wang Lu smiled and said, "You still have a younger one?" Lin Jiajin nodded, "Yes, I have 2 sons." Over the years, his idea of having a daughter has become stronger and stronger. Xiaoan graduated from elementary school last year and will be in the 1st grade of junior high school in Guangzhou. There is a good middle school nearby, and the house they bought happens to be a school district house, so going to school should not be a problem. As for the elementary school, it takes about 20 minutes to drive, which is in the opposite direction of Xiaoan. So the couple discussed it. In the morning, Lin Jiajin sent his younger son to elementary school, and Xiaoan let him go to school by himself. At the end of August, Lin Feng registered the children, and they were in the 3rd grade. Lin Jiajin also went to school for his child. Because he was a transfer student, his household registration had not been transferred yet, which was a bit troublesome. After a lot of trouble, he finally went to school. Before going to school, Lin Jiajin visited Lin Feng's house and brought a lot of gifts. In the future, Lin Jiajin will settle down here. Xiaoan is going to junior high school. At this time, the child is a little rebellious and doesn't like to talk much. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi didn't mind and greeted them warmly. After Xiaoan finished eating, he sat aside and played with his mobile phone. But their youngest son Xia Cheng was talking behind the 4 treasures. The 4 treasures like their younger brothers and sisters the most. They take Xia Cheng to play toys and games. Xiaoan doesn't pay much attention to his younger brothers and sisters. He plays with his mobile phone by himself, and it seems that he is playing games. The 4th treasure and the eldest treasure come over. "Brother, what are you playing?" Xiaoan said absent-mindedly while playing games, "You are too young, you won't understand even if I tell you." The eldest treasure and the 4th treasure gathered around to watch, and soon the 2nd treasure also came over. Lin Jiajin said in a low voice, "Stop playing, your brothers and sisters are still young." Xiaoan said loudly, "This game will be over soon." Lin Jiajin turned his head and complained about his eldest son. He said that he was disobedient in all kinds of ways when he entered middle school and had already started to learn to go against him. Lin Feng smiled and said, "It's normal, boys. When we were in middle school, weren't we the same as Xiaoan?" This sentence made Lin Jiajin speechless. At that time, the 2 of them had the best family conditions and played a lot. They skipped classes, fought, and went against their parents. Especially Lin Feng, who was called Brother Feng by everyone, and he had many brothers under him. It was not until his family went bankrupt that Lin Feng became serious. Now, they have their own families and careers, and their personalities are mature and stable. Lin Feng advised him, "Children at this time, we should guide them slowly. As people who have experienced it, we should learn to understand." Lin Jiajin smacked his lips, but he didn't say anything, which meant that he agreed. Xiaoan really stopped playing after playing around and chatted with Dabao and Sebao. Seeing that his son was quite trustworthy, Lin Jiajin couldn't help but smile. Although Xiaoan is older than the 4 treasures and in a higher grade, his experience is far less than that of the 4 treasures. The children have also seen the world, and they follow Lin Feng everywhere all year round. In addition to studying, there are many extracurricular activities, and each of them has their own talents. They also learn from each other, and their experience and maturity far exceed their peers. Just this summer vacation, Lin Feng took the children to Tokyo again. They learned how to skate and ski. And Lan also skied happily. In addition, they went to art exhibitions, museums, etc. Learning through personal experience is faster than learning from textbooks. Chapter 455 Baby Learns English. Grade 3. The children are going to start learning English. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi decided to use English more often at home in the future. Zhang Yuxi had no objection. Honey, how many languages do you know? 7. Just like that, starting from grade 3. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi mostly communicated with the children in English. From simple conversations to daily conversations without any pressure, the children made rapid progress. And Lan and Liu Bo's family came to visit on weekends. After listening to it, she was envious. She originally learned French, but now she has given it back. Damn, even English now, sometimes I can't understand it. When you talk now, it's like me taking a listening class, with a face full of questions. Zhang Yuxi smiled. How are you doing recently? And Lan leaned back on the sofa. Pretty well. Guoguo is helping to take care of his brother. I feel much more relaxed. Zhang Yuxi comforted her bestie. When the children go to school, you will feel more relaxed. And Lan said, now the parents in their class have started advanced education and have enrolled their children in kindergarten to primary school courses. I'm considering whether to let the children learn it too. What did you do at the beginning? Zhang Yuxi thought for a while. Just read storybooks with the children and play with them. Gradually, they learned some words and numbers. There was no deliberate teaching, the children absorbed them on their own. And Lan held her forehead. I'll try it later. Last time I asked him to count from 1 to 100, and he kept counting randomly while counting. The physique of a poor student has begun to show. Zhang Yuxi comforted her. Don't worry too much, take your time, and besides, the quality of the child's grades is not the decisive factor. Your family is well off, so just let your child grow up happily and have a smooth life. And Lan nodded and sighed. Parents are always afraid of imposing too much on their children, and they are also afraid that they will not be good enough in the future and will not be able to have a good life. It's so difficult. Guoguo and KK played with the children and visited the playground again. They separated after having dinner outside in the evening. The effect of speaking English at home is very significant, and the English of the four treasures has soared. Now they can watch movies alone without looking at subtitles. However, if they don't know some words, Lin Feng will explain them to them. This day, among the weekend homework assigned by the school, one of them is to greet and communicate with a foreign friend in English throughout the whole process. The mobile phone video is posted in the group. Class 6 and Class 8 have the same teacher, so the homework is the same. Sibeo's school did not assign this item, but he was still happy to accompany his brothers and sisters to participate. Foreign friends can be seen everywhere in the famous commercial streets and other places in Guangzhou. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi took the children to the commercial street to squat. Sure enough, a couple came over. Lin Feng walked over and started talking to them. After they found out, they were very willing to help. Dabeo, Sibeo, and Sanbeo all talked about some simple things. For example, where are you from? Is the person next to you your wife? Where do you live? Why did you come to Guangzhou? What do you like about Guangzhou? What do you eat? What do you think of Guangzhou? Erbeo didn't. He started by praising the other person's wife. Wow, auntie, you are really beautiful, with a great temperament, very much like a star. The other wife was a little surprised. Really? Who do you look like? Annie Heavy, I like her very much. Oh my god, you are not the first one to say that I look like her. My relatives and friends all say that we are very similar. Haha, then it seems that I have good taste. Erbeo pointed to the wife's bracelet and said, wow, your bracelet is so beautiful, you know? My sister, she wants to be a jewelry designer in the future. The wife nodded, this is a very amazing career. I used to dream of being an actor. Erbeo said with a little regret, what a pity. Why didn't you take this path? The wife took her husband's hand and said sweetly, because I met him and then came to his hometown. Actually, I am French. Erbeo was surprised. Really? I didn't realize that you are mixed race. The wife smiled and said, yes. Erbeo nodded, you are so beautiful, I know some French. The two communicated in French for a while. Raymond Lam winked at Erbeo, as if to say, what's wrong, you really chatted. I have already recorded for 10 minutes. Erbeo waved and watched the couple leave. Wow, it's so interesting. Lin Feng came over. Not bad, not bad. You all performed very well. I sent the video to the teacher. Chapter 456. If you don't accompany me, the child will grow up. On the commercial street, the four treasures also met their classmates, and by chance they also met Liu Qing. Xianchen had also finished her practice and was eating rainbow-shaped cotton candy. The four treasures' eyes lit up. Where did you buy this? Over there. The four treasures immediately looked at Lin Feng eagerly, and the meaning was very clear. The second treasure saw that Xianshan was eating deliciously. I want to eat too. Let Xianshan take you there, I'll sit here for a while. Zhang Yuxi was also tired from shopping and sat outside a milk tea shop. Do you want milk tea? Liu Qing shook her head. No, I'm losing weight recently. After Liu Qing's father-in-law passed away, she and her husband took Xianshan back to Guangzhou. The mother-in-law didn't want to come, and Liu Qing didn't force it. After returning, she took Xianshan to school while attending classes. Liu Qing chatted with Zhang Yuxi while reading the messages in the parent group. Look at this child, he's amazing. Zhang Yuxi leaned over. In the video, Xiao Rui spoke to foreigners in fluent English without any stage fright. He has a lot of vocabulary and his pronunciation is also very good. Xianshan and Xiao were classmates in the same kindergarten class before, so they knew a little about this child. His parents gave him an elite education, and he was enrolled in various interest classes. He has won many awards for his violin. His musical talent, which he was proud of, was instantly dimmed compared to Sanbao. This child, I heard from the parents in the class that his family hired an English teacher, and the cost was very high. This child is said to be good at fencing, chess, and Muay Thai. He is only in the 2nd grade now, but he has mastered the 5th grade curriculum. I heard that he will skip a grade after mastering the 6th grade curriculum. Zhang Yuxi listened quietly. Every parent has his own way of educating his children, and she is not in a position to express her opinion. Look at this student again, he is not bad. Liu Qing found several outstanding children in a row and sighed. When we were in the 3rd grade, we only knew those things in books. No matter how good the parents' mentality is, they can't keep calm when the children around them become outstanding. Zhang Yuxi thought for a while and said, I think it's better to let the children make their own choices, and it's okay for parents to give suggestions. For the children in our family, when it comes to making decisions, we let them make their own decisions. If we need us, we can help them. Zhao Lizhen had planned it for her since she was a child, and she was not happy on the road of dance. At that time, she couldn't speak out, and was also subtly influenced by Zhao Lizhen, thinking that this was the path she wanted to take. When she grew up, she knew whether she liked it or not. Suitable or not. After having personal experience, she and Lin Feng worked hard on the children's emotions and hobbies. Cultivate their interests and hobbies more and explore their true potential. Liu Qing sighed. Xianshan's father is more open-minded than me. After all, she is a daughter, and she is raised delicately. We all support her in whatever she wants to do in the future. But I am a woman, and I hope Xianshan can become excellent. The two mothers were chatting, and Lin Feng came back with the children, each with a marshmallow in his hand. With a bright smile on his face. Lin Feng also bought a pink heart for Zhang Yuxi. Zhang Yuxi took a bite and stopped eating. It's too sweet, you eat it. Lin Feng didn't like it either, so he reluctantly took a few bites and didn't move. The greedy little cat Sibao watched for a while, then ran over. Dad, do you want to eat it? Lin Feng didn't know what he was thinking. Eat it. Then eat it quickly, it will melt over time. It won't melt. It will. Forget it, in the case you eat it, I won't eat it. Oh, then I'll eat it, otherwise it will melt and be wasted. This afternoon, I played and ate, and went home. In this English oral practice class, the teacher emphasized the praise of Erbao. Honey, Erbao seems to learn faster than other children in terms of language. Lin Feng thought carefully, it seems so. Erbao has had a loud voice, talked a lot, and had a sweet mouth since he was a child. It seems that Lin Feng didn't care much about the outstanding language. Erbao, Sanbao and Sibao all have very distinct personalities since childhood. In a blink of an eye. It was the midterm exam, and the teacher held a parent meeting. The two classes all have similar ideas, which is to let children play less games. Several students in our class have already worn glasses this semester, and they are only in the 2nd grade. I hope parents will understand this and let their children watch less TV and mobile phones. You can watch for a while after finishing your homework, set a time period, such as half an hour. Teacher Yu immediately said with relief, there are also students who hardly watch their phones, such as Lin Yuan in our class. Now, let our parents tell us how they do it and don't let their children watch mobile phones. What do you do with your children on holidays and Saturdays and weekends? As far as I know, Their children have good grades and have very little homework during winter and summer vacations. Lin Feng, who was named, was a little confused and stood up and said modestly, "My children mainly have their own things to do. Except for some special cases, they will not use mobile phones and computers. Our eldest and fourth children are going to learn taekwondo. The third child is going to learn music, and the second child is doing handicrafts. During winter and summer vacations, as long as I have time, I will take the children to ski, dive, skate, visit science and technology museums, etc. The schedule is very full. Let the children do their own things, and we adults and children have fun together. They actually want to watch mobile phones and play games. Maybe my wife and I don't have this interest and hobby, so we didn't motivate them. With this idea, I will take the children to read all kinds of books. They have liked storybooks since they were young, so I will buy a lot of them, as well as some popular science books. I see good books in the evening and think the children will like them, so I print them out for the children to read." Parents. Teacher Yu nodded with satisfaction. "This is very good. You think you have seen his children, and they are all very good." One of the parents muttered, "That's because you have money. Now we are too busy with work. Where can we have time to accompany the children?" Other parents followed suit. "I work so hard all day that I have no energy to spend time with my children." Lin Feng frowned slightly. "I admit that I am financially well off. But if I had no money, I would spend all my time with my children except for work. The biggest feeling my child gives me is that time flies by, and he is already in the 3rd grade of elementary school in the blink of an eye. And some parents have never heard their children speak a word, and have never seen their children learning to walk. How many of them can remember how many months old their children were? How many of them can remember the scene when their children first went to kindergarten?" Lin Feng said lightly. "I know a family like this, very ordinary, but they never lack company for their children. No matter how busy or tired they are, they go home to read storybooks with their children, play games, and do housework with their children. Go out for fewer meals, save money, and take the children out to play on weekends. In Sanya, a family spends about 15,000 yuan for a visit, and spends 30,000 yuan to live better and eat better. For this 30,000 yuan, Dad quit smoking, drinking, and dinner parties, and stayed at home with the children. Mom also bought fewer clothes. When she had time, she bought some clothes and sold them at the entrance of the community. My husband and children were with her. After saving and spending for a year, I took my children to Sanya, which I had always dreamed of. The family had fun and left beautiful memories. Many parents, no matter how difficult the conditions are, want to bring their children with them. It doesn't matter how good the material things are, the spirit is definitely rich." After Lin Feng finished speaking, he sat down slowly, and the parents in the audience looked at each other. Lin Feng asked himself, "If there is no system, I will give 200% love to my children. Even if it is hard and tiring, I will spend time with my children. If you don't spend time with your children, they will grow up." Chapter 457 Xiao's phone call. Teacher Yu stood up and said, "Time is something that can be squeezed out. Some parents would rather spend their time on their phones or at dinner parties with friends than spend more time with their children." Teacher Yu called another parent. "Parent, do you mind if I tell you something?" The father was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, "No problem." Teacher Yu nodded, "Thank you." One day, he was late to pick up the child, so I called to ask, and then I learned about the family situation. His parents are sick and in bed, and both need someone to take care of them. The child's grandmother is a little better, she can walk and eat by herself. The child's grandfather is not in good health, he has been bedridden for years and needs someone to take care of him. He takes care of 2 elderly people and the children by himself, and he is the pillar of the family. He works in the factory during the day, and delivers takeout at night after the family falls asleep. He told me that he takes his daughter to the park every Saturday and takes his daughter for a motorcycle ride once a month. When the seasons change, I take the child to buy clothes, and I must dress the little princess up beautifully. Every time before going to bed, I tell the child a story and say good night. He has never missed a single school activity. I won't list all the other things. In a word, whether you have money or not, you love your children the same way. I hope parents can spend more time with their children." The parents' meeting was over, and the children came in with their school bags. Most parents were helping their children pack their school bags, But Lin Feng asked Dabao and Erbao to pack their own. He reminded them, have you packed everything? Is there anything left? Dabao and Erbao checked the drawers, nothing. Lin Feng nodded, let's go, Daddy has to pick up Sibao. Dabao and Erbao hurriedly greeted Teacher Yu, goodbye, teacher. Teacher Yu smiled and said, goodbye. The parents' meeting for class 6 had not yet ended, but Lin Feng sent a message to Zhang Yuxi and went to pick up Sibao first. A parent was discussing Lin Feng. Did they say that the family is rich? Why don't they hire a nanny? Don't rich people hire a nanny? It's too time-consuming to do everything by yourself. I don't think the car he drives is worth much. The tone of voice showed that he was very suspicious of Lin Feng's worth. One of the parents was tired of listening and interrupted, he is really rich. The violin used by his child is more than 800,000 yuan, okay. Besides, he lives in Kahu Villa, where the house price is tens of thousands of square meters. There are several shops in Guangzhou. He is just low-key and doesn't want to show off his wealth. It's not that he really has no money. When this parent was in kindergarten, his child was in the same class with the 4 treasures. He knew a thing or two about Lin Feng's family conditions and couldn't stand people who said that the grapes were sour because they couldn't eat them. Teacher Yu had a headache. This semester, 3 children have already worn glasses. Several classmates told me that they couldn't see the blackboard from the back. I was so worried. Zhang Yuxi brought the 3 treasures out. Zhang Yuxi, whose mobile phone was set to silent, didn't know that Lin Feng had sent a message. I looked at the door of class 6, but I didn't see Lin Feng. Teacher Yu smiled and said, they said they were going to pick up Sibao, but they left a long time ago. Zhang Yuxi nodded, is that so? Thank you, teacher. Goodbye, teacher. The children also waved, goodbye, Teacher Yu. Zhang Yuxi took Sanbao's hand and hurried away. You can still hear their discussion. Then let's go to the supermarket to buy vegetables. What do you want to eat? Sanbao said it was alright, they were not picky about food. Mom has to prepare lessons at home today, so you should stay in your room and do your homework. Mom, the teacher asked us to make a plant growth record book today. What should we plant? Garlic, it grows fast. Is it okay? It's okay. If it doesn't work, you can ask the teacher. The voice gradually disappeared from everyone's sight. They are rich, but it can be seen that they are trying hard to accompany the children. After Lin Feng came back from picking up Sibao, he learned that Zhang Yuxi had already bought vegetables, so he didn't have to go to the supermarket. Wife, you are so smart. You know there is no food at home. Hubby. I am embarrassed for saying that. Zhang Yuxi barely touched the household necessities, such as rice, oil, salt, sauce, vinegar, and tea. She said this as if she was a little fool who could not see anything without eyes. Lin Feng turned the steering wheel beautifully and said with a smile, we are already an old couple. But he liked this about Zhang Yuxi. After many years of marriage, she still maintained the shyness of a young girl. When he got home, Lin Feng started to wash his hands and cook. Zhang Yuxi finished her work with the children. Hubby, do we need to wash these? Lin Feng stretched his head to take a look. Well, remember to separate the dark and light colors. I know. After Zhang Yuxi finished her work, Lin Feng also prepared dinner. After the family had a happy dinner, they took Dabei for a walk. The couple talked about the content of the parent-teacher meeting. It was after 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning. Lin Feng was washing vegetables at home when he received a call from a stranger. Hello, who is this? Uncle, it's me, Zhang. Lin Feng could hear something strange on the other end of the phone. He should be at school at this time. What's wrong? What's the matter with you calling me? Zhang asked pleadingly. Uncle, can you come to school? Lin Feng shook the water off his hands. Okay, I'll be there right away. Looking at the time, Lin Feng packed up and walked out while calling Zhang Yuxi. Wife, Zhang called me just now. Something might have happened. I need to go to school. Come pick up the child at noon. I've already ordered rice and cooked the dishes. Just heat them up in the microwave when you come back. Okay, I know. I'll talk to him. Lin Feng drove out. It takes 40 minutes to get to Zhang school. If he is delayed on the way back and forth, he will definitely not be able to pick up the child. This is the first time I have come to Zhang school. I found class 5 of the first grade. I called Zhang and he said he was in the office. When I found the office, I saw Zhang inside, along with other people of the same age, all with bruises on their faces. Hello, teacher. I'm Lin Xiao's parent. Lin Feng smiled and greeted the teacher. The teacher frowned. It seems that it wasn't you last time. Lin Feng answered readily, it's like this. His parents are busy and can't come. I'm his father's younger brother. It's the same if you tell me anything. The teacher said, this is what happened. After Lin Xiao came to our class, his performance was not very good. He slept in class, played games after class, his test scores were below average, and he didn't study hard. Now, he's fighting with students in the same class. Lin Feng nodded and asked, what was the reason for the fight? The teacher said, it's said that there was an argument. It was said that a classmate asked him to borrow something, but he refused, and then they fought like this. Lin Feng was silent for a while, turned his head to look at the four children, and finally asked Xiaoan. Xiaoan, tell your uncle everything. Lin Xiaoan had a good impression of Lin Feng, who is always gentle. This time the teacher said that he wanted to drop out of school. If his father knew about it, he would definitely be beaten when he went back. Although Zhang Yuxi was also very kind to the children, maybe because of her cold personality and the fact that she was a teacher, after much deliberation, she decided to call Raymond Lamb. Chapter 458 Your son deserves to be punished. Xiaoan pursed his lips and said with a sullen face. They asked me to borrow money, but I said I didn't have any. They didn't believe me and insisted on looking through my school bag, so we started fighting. Why did he give Xiaoan cash? According to Lin Jiajin, he recharged 1,000 yuan into the game last month, which was his lunch money for a month. Lin Jiajin was so angry that he changed his mobile phone to an old-fashioned one. He gave Xiaoan 100 yuan and said he would talk to him when he ran out of money. When the bad habits were fixed, he would return the phone. When Lin Jiajin was young, he spent a lot of money, either on food or play. He didn't want to see his son follow the old path, so he put an end to this bad habit. Lin Feng asked the other three children, did you rob his money? One of the children stammered, I didn't rob him, I just borrowed it, not that I won't pay it back. Lin Feng smiled, if I don't lend it to you, but you insist on it, that's robbing. Why, if I don't lend you money, is it his fault? Why should I lend it to you? Otherwise, you can lend me some money to use. Everyone was stunned by this. Lin Feng's words stopped the other party from speaking. The teacher held her forehead, no matter what, it's wrong for you to fight. Can't you talk it out nicely? Lin Feng looked at the teacher with a little surprise. Teacher, 3 classmates came to rob money and they were about to rummage through my school bag. How can Xiaoan talk nicely? If they don't do this, will Xiaoan argue with them? The teacher was stunned. This parent is very good at talking. The teacher frowned. She knew the reason in her heart. Today, she wanted to take this opportunity to criticize and educate the children. At this time, another parent also came. It was the one who answered Lin Feng's words. When the parent came, he saw the wound on the child's face. Without asking any questions, he was furious. How did you get this wound on your face? Who beat you? It's true that like father, like son. They are all unreasonable people. The child pointed at Xiaoan and said, Dad, he beat me. The parent immediately became relentless. Look, what did you do to my child? You are his parent. How do you teach your child? Pay for the medical expenses. The teacher quickly said, don't get excited. This parent, it's not all his fault. Calm down first. The other parent, how can I calm down? My son, I can't bear to touch a finger of my own baby. Why did he beat me? The other party was so aggressive that Xiaoan was obviously scared. Lin Feng comforted him, don't be afraid, uncle's here. This sentence and this look made Xiaoan suddenly calm down. The teacher and the parent were still communicating. Isn't it just borrowing some money? We are all classmates, what's wrong with borrowing it? Lin Feng turned around and said lightly, isn't it just beating your son? He deserves to be punished, a beating, what's wrong? The other parent was furious, with a fierce look on his face as if he was going to beat Lin Feng. What did you say? If you have the guts, say it again. Lin Feng directly broke a corner of the teacher's desk with one hand. With a snap sound, everyone looked at the broken disc in horror. It was hard to imagine that a person could break it with bare hands. Lin Feng's smile was still gentle, but surprisingly cold. Your son deserves to be punished, a beating, what's wrong? The other parent immediately backed off, and the teacher didn't know what to say. Lin Feng said to the teacher very sincerely, Teacher, I know our Xiaoan has many shortcomings. It's normal for boys to be a little rebellious and naughty during adolescence. I hope the teacher can be more tolerant of him, and we parents will definitely discipline him strictly." The teacher was still in shock and nodded randomly. "Yes," Lin Feng said again. "As for the beating today, I don't advocate it, but if this matter was initiated by others." Lin Feng touched Zhang Yuxi's head lovingly. "I don't mind if the child fights back. We don't take the initiative to cause trouble, but we are not afraid of it. We will take the responsibility we should take." Zhang Yuxi looked at Lin Feng with emotion, his eyes flushed and his nose sour. The teacher sat down again and looked at the others. "Tell me what's going on now." Zhang Yuxi didn't say anything. The other three told him the truth. Because Zhang Yuxi was well off and his family was rich, they saw that he was a transfer student. They asked for money under the pretext of borrowing money. This was not the first time. After being refused this time, the three of them started to force the loan. After Zhang Yuxi had an argument with them, the other party cursed and then they started fighting. Of course, the three of them kept the full picture of the matter. Some things were still learned by the teacher from other students. Lin Feng said, "So, you should have paid for my medical expenses." The other parent's momentum weakened this time. "My child's injury is more serious." Lin Feng asked with a smile, "You can't beat him, so you blame me? You are three people." The other parent was speechless for a moment. "Since we are all injured, let's forget about it." Lin Feng shook his head. "First, we are the victims. You don't even say sorry, and you want to forget about it. Second, I will take Zhang Yuxi to the hospital for a checkup. I will give the bill to the teacher. You can see how much compensation I will give." The parent shouted, "How can you do this?" The teacher quickly said, "You made the mistake first, so you should say sorry." The teacher set an example. "Lin Zhang Yuxi, the teacher misunderstood you just now. It was the teacher's fault. I'm sorry." Lin Feng was a little surprised, and his impression of the teacher suddenly improved. In fact, the teacher wanted to take this opportunity to criticize a few students. In addition, Zhang Yuxi's performance in school was not very good, and he was a transfer student, so the teacher inevitably had some preconceived ideas. Zhang Yuxi was a little flattered. "It's okay, teacher. I usually gave you a very bad impression." At the end, Zhang Yuxi felt very embarrassed. He still had some idea of what kind of person he was. Since the teacher had apologized, the troublemaker still had the nerve to ask. At this time, the school bell rang. The teacher sighed. "Okay, Lin Zhang Yuxi, you go back first." Before leaving, Lin Feng thought about the desk. "Teacher, I'll have someone send a new desk this afternoon. And the hospital's examination fee bill." Everyone, "You're serious? No kidding." Lin Feng took Zhang Yuxi out of the office. Along the way, he met many classmates, and they looked at Lin Feng with curious eyes. Lin Feng looks young, and you can't tell that the child is already 8 years old. At first glance, I thought he was Zhang Yuxi's brother. Lin Feng took Zhang Yuxi to the school gate. "What do you want to eat?" Zhang Yuxi didn't want to go home to eat, so Lin Jiajin gave him money to eat at school. At this age, it's time to learn to take care of yourself. In addition, Zhang Yuxi was in adolescence, a hedgehog, and didn't get along with his parents. So they just let him eat outside. Lin Feng asked, "What do you want to eat?" "Whatever." Lin Feng finally came to a Chinese restaurant. Because it was near the school, the price here was very favorable. When they entered the restaurant, the last table was empty. Lin Feng gave the menu to Zhang Yuxi. Zhang Yuxi shook his head. "Uncle, you take care of it." Lin Feng finally ordered a few dishes and a soup. "Eat, move your chopsticks, why are you looking at me?" He paused and said, "I know I'm handsome." Zhang Yuxi asked cautiously, "Uncle, are you angry?" Lin Feng was surprised. "Why should I be angry? This matter is not your fault, and I think you did the right thing. Your uncle's principle is that we don't take the initiative to cause trouble, but we are not afraid of trouble." Then he whispered, "But when we do it, don't make any trouble." Zhang Yuxi nodded and smiled. He was ready to let Lin Feng beat him up in front of the teacher and then complain to his father. Thinking of this, he felt warm in his heart, and suddenly he became closer to Lin Feng. "Uncle, do we really have to go to the hospital?" "Yes." Lin Feng didn't think he was joking. "After we finish eating, we will go to the hospital for a checkup, and then buy a disc for the teacher." After eating, he went to the hospital for a checkup. "It's not a big problem, just apply some medicine." These lists and a new desk were sent to the head teacher. The head teacher After sending Xiao to school, Lin Feng went to the store to find Lin Jiajin. Wang Lu sent a little guy to elementary school, and ate and slept in the store at noon. The store is close to the school, and there is a rest room for naps. The children are usually picked up at noon. When Lin Feng went to the store, Wang Lu had just returned from sending the little one. Come here, have you eaten? The store is very busy, and it is full every day, especially at noon and after school until the evening. As long as Wang Lu is free, she will come to help during peak hours. Lin Jiajin came out from the kitchen. Mr. Lin is here. Lin Feng sat down. I'm here to tell you something. Let me make it clear first, don't be angry, just listen to what I say. The couple looked at each other, thinking something big had happened. After Lin Feng finished speaking, Lin Jiajin said after a while, this kid must be afraid that I will beat him, so he called you. Lin Feng laughed, if you go there, you might scold Xiao. How can you know the grievances of others? If you have a good relationship, he won't call me. Wang Lu sighed, this child listens to me a little more, but his father's words go in one ear and out the other. There is really nothing I can do. Lin Jiajin was also worried. Let's talk about communicating well. How can I communicate with him if he doesn't tell you anything? Just reason with him. The expression on his face, is it disdainful? Anyway, his expression deserves a beating. Lin Feng comforted Lin Jiajin, don't be too angry. This is how adolescent children are. Thinking back then, we were all disobedient and made a lot of trouble. Besides, Xiao is really much better than we were back then. Don't be too harsh. After hearing what Lin Feng said, Lin Jiajin's expression eased a little. Lin Feng reminded him, if you want to talk to Xiao about this, just have a good talk with him. If you don't want to talk, just pretend you don't know about it. Communicate well with your children in the future, don't be too strong. At this point, Wang Lu hurriedly said, that's right, the two of them are obviously father and son, but they like to go against each other, and I am neither a human being nor a person. Lin Jiajin didn't say anything, and his expression was obviously a little guilty. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 459 My Wife's Worries. Lin Feng drove home. He went to the supermarket to buy some vegetables first, and then picked up Sibeo. Wife, I've taken care of the things. You pick up Sanbeo and the others after school this afternoon. I'm on my way to pick up Sibeo now. In the car, the father and son chatted happily. Sibeo learned fencing today, and talked to Lin Feng about fencing and related knowledge. The teacher praised me today, saying that I am a genius and I am very good at studying. Really? Then Sibeo is very good. Sibeo raised his chin with a proud face. Yes, I am very good. When they got home, Zhang Yuxi and the children had already returned. While the children were busy with their own things, Zhang Yuxi came to the kitchen and whispered, Husband? What happened to Xiao today? After listening to what happened, Zhang Yuxi couldn't help but feel a little emotional. Hubby, when our children reach puberty, you should be gentler and talk to them nicely. Don't worry, honey, I know my limits. A few days later, Lin Jiajin revealed to Lin Feng, I still mentioned this to Xiao, and we communicated well. Xiao also began to tell me everything. After listening to Lin Jiajin's call, Lin Feng was happy for him. It's rare to have such a loving father and filial son. Time flies. The Lin Feng family was so busy, and the 4 children finished their 3rd grade. Moreover, the 4 children got full marks in every subject. Well, there is no summer homework again. That night, Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi had an in-depth exchange. Zhang Yuxi touched Lin Feng's face. Hubby, I'm getting old, but you don't show any signs of aging at all. She already felt that her skin was sagging and her complexion was dull. Whether it was energy or other things, it was incomparable with before. She worked hard to maintain her figure and skincare, using anti-aging products. Although she looked very young to others. But she didn't have the confidence to be with Lin Feng, her husband. Whether it was energy or other things, he was the same as when he was young. And in that aspect, he was even better than before. Lin Feng grabbed Zhang Yuxi's hand and kissed her. Be good, don't let your imagination run wild. This was not an imagination, this was reality. Zhang Yuxi had to accept it. Late at night. The long-lost system made a sound. Lin Feng didn't know when it last appeared. Ding. Because the host accompanied the child to complete the first small step of learning, he won the Sulalan manner. Ding. Because the host made the child's first small step of learning perfect, he won a Huanayanzuji pill. Note, Huanayanzuji pill is developed from more than 10 kinds of precious Chinese medicine ingredients, which can make people look youthful in 3 days. The next morning. Zhang Yuxi saw Lin Feng start to boil Chinese medicine. The medicine pot gave off a faint floral scent, which was refreshing. Honey, are you sick? Lin Feng said with a smile, your body lost a lot when you gave birth to the child. I'll make you some Chinese medicine to replenish your qi and blood. Zhang Yuxi knew that Lin Feng had some medical skills. She walked over and kissed her husband. Thank you for your hard work, husband. No. At this time, the children came down, and the fastest one was Sibeo. The couple heard the sound of footsteps and smiled at each other. It was indeed Sibeo. He ran over. Dad, what is this? It smells so good. His face was full of can I have a taste? The couple pretended not to see it. Lin Feng closed the medicine jar. This is medicine for mom. You can't eat it. Sibeo blinked. Dad, can I have a taste? No. Can't I have a small sip? No. Sibeo pouted, not wanting to give up. Dad, can't I have a small sip? Lin Feng was speechless. Sibeo, bear with it, this is medicine, you can't just take it casually. Sibeo gestured with his fingers, a little bit, a little bit. Zhang Yuxi saw Sibeo's pitiful look and said distressedly, husband, let Sibeo have a taste. Erbeo came out of nowhere, Dad, I want to have a taste too, okay. The steady Dabeo's eyes were full of desire. Sanbeo was already so beautiful that she looked puzzled. She seemed to be thinking, what's so good about tasting medicine? Dabeo came over to greet Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi. Dad, Mom, good morning. He went straight to scoop cat litter for Fifi. For the 4 babies, shoveling cat litter is a matter of turns, including doing housework duty. Now, Lin Feng is the one who cooks, and the 4 treasures take turns washing dishes. On Monday, the eldest treasure, Tuesday, the second treasure. On Saturday and Sunday, the 4 treasures do it together. In the past, Lin Feng might have been soft-hearted, but this time he couldn't be soft-hearted at all. This is something rewarded by the system, how can I let the children eat it randomly? Lin Feng crossed his arms. No, this is medicine, it's not good for your health, if you want to eat something, Dad will make it for you. Seeing Lin Feng's insistence, the 4 treasures had to compromise and suddenly became listless. What do you want to eat today? Dad will make it. The 4 treasures' eyes lit up and reported a long list of dishes. No problem. Get out of the kitchen. After breakfast, Lin Feng served the medicine to Zhang Yuxi. Husband, why are you looking at me? I'm afraid that the 4 treasures will come over and drink it secretly. The 4 treasures didn't drink it secretly, he went to the kitchen to drink it secretly. Unexpectedly, Lin Feng seemed to have met him and had hidden the medicine. After searching for a long time, he just couldn't find it. Just kidding, I put it in the wine cellar, let's see how he can find it. Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng watched the rummaging through the boxes and cabinets, completely unaware of their Sibeo. They all looked embarrassed. Especially Zhang Yuxi, who had just said that Lin Feng was overacting and that Sibeo was not that kind of person. Unexpectedly, in the blink of an eye, they saw Sibeo looking for food in the kitchen. Zhang Yuxi asked with her eyes, husband, do you want to remind me? Lin Feng shook his head, no, let's take a look again. Sibeo muttered, stood up and said with his hands on his waist, well, I can be sure that the medicine must have been hidden by Dad. It's not here. Lin Feng. Zhang Yuxi took a look at Lin Feng's expression and knew that her son had guessed right. Sibeo guessed, where would Dad put the medicine? Not in the kitchen, could it be in their bedroom? Lin Feng coughed lightly to indicate his presence. What are you doing in the kitchen? Sibeo was startled and turned around abruptly. I came to the kitchen to wash my hands. Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi did not expose him, and Lin Feng washed Zhang Yuxi's medicine bowl. Sibeo did not mean to leave, probably looking at where Lin Feng put the medicine. Lin Feng asked knowingly, anything else? Sibeo shook his head, no. After Sibeo left, Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi couldn't help but sigh. There are still 2 days left. Well, Sibeo must not find out. This medicine, once a day, is enough. Chapter 460 Rejuvenation Overnight. After waking up from a nap, Zhang Yuxi felt that she was much more energetic and her head was no longer groggy. At first, she didn't care. She thought that she had a good sleep today, until she went to take a shower after sweating all over. After wiping off the fogged mirror, Zhang Yuxi was stunned for a moment. Why did she feel that she looked much younger in the mirror? She took a closer look. The fine lines at the end of her eyes faded a lot. Wait, she didn't achieve this effect even with the best skincare products. Looking more carefully, her skin seemed to be better too. Hey, what's going on? Could it be the medicine she took today? Zhang Yuxi quickly called Lin Feng to come to the room. Lin Feng saw the changes in Zhang Yuxi at a glance and asked with a smile, "What's wrong? Did you miss me?" His eyes made this sentence meaningful. Zhang Yuxi took Lin Feng's hand and pointed it out to him. "Husband, did you see it? I seem to have become younger." Zhang Yuxi grabbed Lin Feng's hand excitedly and said excitedly. Lin Feng nodded. "Hubby saw it." "Hubby, is it the medicine you gave me?" Lin Feng nodded again. "It should be." Zhang Yuxi couldn't believe it. "Hubby, this is amazing. It hasn't been long, and there are such obvious effects. Although this medicine is amazing, you can only use it once. After drinking it for 2 days, this medicine will be useless in the future." Zhang Yuxi was thinking about her best friend Lan at this time. "Hubby, can you make a dose for Lan?" Lin Feng shook his head. "These medicinal materials are rare. I also secretly gathered them for many years." Zhang Yuxi was a little disappointed. "Then give some of the rest to Lan." "Wife, this medicine can only be taken by one person, so that it can be effective for a long time. The dosage is standardized. You each take half, and it will not work for anyone in the end," Zhang Yuxi said disappointedly. Lin Feng coaxed her. "If you have a chance to find a husband in the future, make a dose of medicine for Lan as well." Zhang Yuxi nodded. "If that girl asks about it later, I'd better not tell her first. Just say that I've regained my youth, and I didn't know I became like this." Zhang Yuxi knew Lan's character. If she had a chance to become younger, she would definitely keep thinking about it. Lin Feng explained, "That's why I don't let Sibao touch it. This medicine is effective for women, but it may not work for a boy like Sibao." Zhang Yuxi nodded. "Well, the medicine is so effective. He is growing up. What if he becomes smaller, or doesn't grow up in the future? Wouldn't it harm him?" Just like that, the next 2 doses of medicine. Zhang Yuxi secretly got up early in the morning to drink them. And Sibao, that little look is getting more and more resentful. In order to coax him, Lin Feng made him a lot of delicious food, and Sibao was satisfied. And in these 3 days, Zhang Yuxi really regained her youth overnight, and her appearance was like 10 years ago. She was a few years younger than when Lin Feng first met. Now that the two of them are standing together, it is really hard to guess their ages. They are a perfect match. Sibao blinked her eyes. "Mom, you have become so beautiful recently." Sibao looked carefully. "Mom, you are getting younger and younger. So beautiful. If I grow up, I would like to be as beautiful as you." Sibao is very beautiful, and looks very similar to Zhang Yuxi. But compared to Sibao, she is really far behind. Sibao's facial features are very, very delicate. She has combined all the advantages of her parents' facial features and has been beautiful until now. Especially the kind of clean temperament like a princess, which makes people dare not approach her. She is a princess. Zhang Yuxi held her daughter's little face. "Sibao will definitely be more beautiful than mom when she grows up." Sibao smiled. "That's great." Sibao has never cut her hair short because of her natural curls, and she has been thinking about cutting her hair short to try. So, Sibao struck while the iron was hot. "Mom, can I cut my hair short?" "No, your hair will explode." "Don't be afraid, I like it." "Then tell your dad." Lin Feng still remembers that when Sibao was in kindergarten, he cut her hair short, and it was horrible. Since then, she has kept her hair long for easy care. Now, the little princess is in the 3rd grade, and she can do simple hairstyles by herself. It's not a problem to tie a ponytail or a pigtail. As time went by, she had the urge to cut her hair, but was rejected by Lin Feng. The more she made a mistake, the more Sibao wanted to cut her hair. What's going on? So, she begged Lin Feng to cut her hair again. Lin Feng said lightly, "Okay, don't cry when the time comes." "I promise not to cry." The 2 little princesses at home had their hair cut short, but they had never had their hair cut short. Sibao likes long hair, but she didn't ask. In the past, Lin Feng bought the tools for the babies to cut their hair. Now I take the children to the barber shop. Dabao, who made the most trouble, has gradually accepted haircuts. Since we are here, let's all get a haircut. Erbao said to the hairdresser excitedly, I want this kind of hair, just this short. 20 minutes later, the hair was blown up. Oh, my hair was blown up. Erbao was confused. How could this happen? The hairdresser pursed his lips. Wait a minute, I'll blow it up for you. It's just a little better than before. Erbao is a person who has seen the world. Looking at herself in the mirror, she said to save face. I think it's pretty good. Anyone can see that she is forced and the sadness in her eyes. Erbao got off the chair and sat aside with a faint smile on her face. Brother Sibao, it's your turn. Go. Sibao is an honest person. Sister Erbao, I think your smile is going to break. Are you okay? The smile on Erbao's face froze. It's okay, I'm fine. Sibao and Dabao just used a razor to make a short haircut. Sanbao can just cut it short. Zhang Yuxi dyed her hair, and Raymond Lam trimmed it. Looking in the mirror, Erbao pouted his lips and tried to make himself look good. I never knew that Erbao was so strong-willed. When Erbao was young, he could wear a small hairpin on his head, but it is not suitable for him now. However, he is a man who has seen 100 kinds of braids. While Zhang Yuxi was dyeing her hair, he asked for a few colorful rubber bands at the barber shop. Erbao, come here. Erbao sniffed. What's wrong, Dad? Dad, tidy up your hair. Dad, do I look ugly like this? Is the chicken coop head that people talk about the same as mine? Dad can solve any problem. Wait for Dad for a while. Erbao said softly. Thank you, Dad. After a while, Lin Feng tidied Erbao's messy hair and made it beautiful. Erbao looked in the mirror and was very satisfied. A smile appeared on his face again. Wow, Dad, you are great. You are amazing. Even the employees and boss of the barber shop praised Lin Feng for his dexterity. Sanbao came over. Sister Erbao looks so beautiful like this, and her hair is not messy at all. Erbao flattered Lin Feng again. Chapter 461 Dujin is completely ruined. Zhang Yuxi dyed her hair and trimmed it, and 3 hours passed. Seeing that it was almost time for dinner, the family discussed what to eat at the door of the barber shop. It was summer vacation, and the children had no summer homework, so they all wanted to go out for dinner. Coincidentally, Anlan called and said that they would go to her house for dinner in the evening. Liu Bo's parents brought some local eggs and duck eggs, as well as a few chickens. Liu Bo was killing them in the kitchen at this time, and he would share some with Lin Feng and his friends. Anlan took the two children to play in the community. Seeing Zhang Yuxi behind Lin Feng, she was surprised. Yuxi, how did you become like this? Nima, quickly recommend it to me. What kind of magic cosmetics are you using? I want it too. Zhang Yuxi glanced at Lin Feng. That? I don't know what's going on. They haven't seen each other for half a month, and Anlan didn't doubt Zhang Yuxi's words. She just felt it was magical, and after asking in detail, she sighed. She only said that Zhang Yuxi was lucky, and didn't say anything else except envy. Lin Feng asked, where's Liu Bo? He's at home raising chickens and ducks. The smell is too strong, so I'm going out for a walk with the kids. I don't want them to see that kind of scene. Lin Feng nodded. Okay, you guys just play downstairs, I'll go help. There are amusement equipment in the community. Every night, Anlan would take the two children out for a walk, play, and then go back. Guo, who will be going to the senior class in September this year, took a break and grew a lot taller. He got along well with Dabao and Sibao. Erbao and Sanbao were teasing KK, and Anlan let go of her hand and pulled Zhang Yuxi to talk about gossip. You know, Dujin is completely ruined. She is in debt of 5 million. Now her family has no house and no money. Now she is back to her old business, selling luxury goods. On the one hand, she wants to win back Lu Boy's heart. On the other hand, she refuses to give up and flirts with male customers in the store. Who would have thought that he was beaten by someone's girlfriend, and even his mother didn't recognize him? Now he's looking for a job everywhere. What's even more weird is that he called me and asked to borrow money, and I retaliated. Anlan was very happy when talking about this. Zhang Yuxi's eyes did not leave the children. The lawyer was found by Lin Feng. Anlan's smile disappeared. Fuck, what's going on? Zhang Yuxi whispered. I only mentioned this to you, don't let the old people know. Yeah, tell me. Swear. Okay, I swear, I will never say anything nonsense. Zhang Yuxi's expression was cold. Lu Bo and Du Jin were getting divorced, and I went to collect some evidence and accidentally found that thing. And Lan took a breath. Did that little bitch Du Jin do it? Zhang Yuxi nodded. After she got me drunk, she went to the car and slept in the car all night. And Lan went berserk on the spot. Damn, it was really this little bitch. I didn't wrong her. At the moment, she gloated again. Now this is her own fault. She deserves it. And Lan comforted her. The truth of this matter has finally come out, proving that we didn't wrong her. Now that Du Jin is like this, we will never mention this matter again in the future. Zhang Yuxi nodded. At first, she didn't think about it at all. After giving birth, Lan expressed her guess. At that time, a seed of doubt was planted in her heart, but it was just a doubt. Until that day in Sanaya, when Du Jin said that. She already knew the result. For Zhang Yuxi, this matter finally put down a big stone in her heart. Lin Feng has the key to Lan's house. And Lan gave Lin Feng a spare key. As soon as I entered the house, I smelled a strange smell. The kitchen door was open and no one was there. The balcony in the living room was closed. Liu Bo was plucking ducks at the laundry table on the balcony. Brother, you are here. Lin Feng rolled up his sleeves and stood on the balcony and asked, what can I do? There are 2 ducks left here, one for you and one for me, and the boiling water is on the table. Lin Feng was fast, and he plucked almost everything in a flash. Brother, you are awesome. Lin Feng is a man who has been working in the kitchen for almost 10 years. Plucking ducks is not easy. Lin Feng plucked both ducks clean and started to clean up what Liu Bo didn't handle. Lin Feng saw that Liu Bo had cleaned up the duck feathers very well. What are you doing? To sell them for money. I don't know if all parents, since they got married and had children, have become more frugal. This has nothing to do with how much money they make, maybe it's because they know how to live. Lin Feng slaughtered 2 chickens, both of which were local chickens, and they took a longer time to cook. He stewed the chickens first, and then he and Liu Bo cleaned them up. There were 15 chickens and ducks in total, and Liu Bo was busy from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until almost 6 o'clock now. Now that the weather is hot, the chickens are killed, cleaned up, and put in the refrigerator. When you eat, just take them out and thaw them. The 2 of them were busy until after 7 o'clock, and Lan and the others had already returned from the supermarket. Wait another 5 minutes, there's still a little smell in the house. I'll take a breath, and spray it with your perfume. That perfume is very expensive, you should spray less. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Liu Bo muttered, I know it without you saying it. If you spray too much, I'll buy you another bottle later. It's not convenient to put on makeup when taking care of children, but it doesn't stop Lan from buying it. After airing everything out and spraying some perfume, the smell was not so strong after 5 minutes. Lin Feng was cooking in the kitchen. When will Anton come back? She will be back in a few days. I'll be at home taking care of the kids when she leaves. We were still discussing whether to hire an aunt last night. Lin Feng was busy with his work. If you can't handle it, hire someone. If you don't feel sorry for your own wife and kids, who will? That's what I thought too. The 2 chatted when they came back, and each child had a toy. And Lan leaned on the sofa and emptied her mind for a while. With the 4 babies, she could leave the 2 babies to them and play together. Zhang Yuxi told the 4 babies, watch the 2 younger brothers carefully. Then she went to the kitchen. Is there anyone who can help? Lin Feng smiled. No need to help, just sit down. Zhang Yuxi saw that the house was made, with toys everywhere on the floor and clothes on the sofa. Zhang Yuxi started to clean up, and Lan felt bad for it, so she cleaned up with him. I see you are very tired. Sit down. I will clean up in a while. And Lan was not polite. She really felt that taking care of 2 children was exhausting. Have you ever thought about finding an aunt? Washing clothes and cooking, you take care of the children wholeheartedly. Before Lan could speak, Liu Bo came out of the bathroom. I plan to find an aunt. It's expensive, but my wife and children are more important. And Lan felt sorry for the money. It's not like before. Now the aunt helps take care of the children and takes care of 3 meals a day. It costs more than 10,000 a month. Now think about it, damn, my life is more important. She has been spoiled since she was a child and has never done any housework. Most of the aunts found by the family are there to serve her. Having 2 children in 3 years has damaged her health a lot. It's better to have An's mother to help. When people leave, she has to be 24 times more energetic, for fear that she will not pay attention and the children will bump into something. In the end, Lan still finds an ant for her own health. The native chicken smells delicious, and the children are so greedy that they run to the kitchen one by one to look at it. Sibeo was the most diligent, and he kept asking, "Is Dad ready?" In the end, Lin Feng stopped answering. Lin Feng used chicken soup to make porridge for KK and added some vegetables. Okay, it's time to eat. It was almost 8 o'clock at this time, and the children were crying with hunger. They were all eating happily. Why can Guaguo play well with Sibeo? It's because they are all foodies. Guaguo is strong and has a big frame, which is inherited from Liubo. KK was a premature baby and her body was relatively weak, but she quickly caught up with other children of the same age. After eating, they sat for a while and took a few local chickens and ducks home. Guaguo and KK were reluctant to leave them and sent them outside the community. And Lan joked, "Since you like your brothers and sisters so much, then live in their house." Guaguo was stunned for a moment. "Is it okay? Mom, is it really okay?" And Lan was speechless. "You don't want your mom anymore." Guaguo understood that this was a joke. Chapter 462 Moving into the manor. The next day, Erbeo came up and ran to Lin Feng. "Dad, my hair." The hair was completely blown up. "Dad, I don't like so much hair." "More hair is a good thing. You'll know later." Lin Feng finished tying Erbeo's hair and said earnestly, "My daughter, don't you know how serious hair loss is now? How expensive is hair transplantation?" After breakfast, Lin Feng drove his wife and children to Sulalin Manor. This is a manor located on the outskirts of Yangchang, with a construction area of more than 800 square meters, 7 rooms, 5 halls, 8 bathrooms, and a height of more than 10 meters. In addition to the outdoor greening area for self-use, it is about 2,000 square meters, occupying almost 4 acres of land. The system's rewards are all fine decoration, and you can move in with your luggage. After Lin Feng drove and opened the door, he saw a green area and a very beautiful white villa. There is also a stream behind the house, and it seems that it does not belong to them. This yard can be said to be very large, and there is also a big tree with lush branches and leaves growing well. The children and Zhang Yuxi cheered, and the family went into the restaurant together. The decoration was luxurious, and the children loved it. Zhang Yuxi asked happily like a child, "Husband, when did you buy it? Do you like it?" "I like it very much." Zhang Yuxi actually had plans to buy a new house. There are many people in their family, and the children are growing up and need independent rooms. "I just thought, why not wait until the children graduate from elementary school before buying it?" Unexpectedly, Lin Feng thought more carefully than her and had already picked a house. She was very, very satisfied. However, she was happy, but she was still worried about the children's schooling. Here, it is closer to Sibeo's school. Relatively speaking, it is a bit far away from Sanbeo's school. It is even farther away from Zhang Yuxi's workplace. There are bus stops here, but they are all unpopular buses. There are art schools, international dance schools, international education, etc. around. There are 3 large supermarkets nearby, and you can get there by walking 700 or 800 meters. There are 5 hospitals, including a brain department. There are also 6 or 7 banks and many restaurants. The surrounding facilities are still very complete. The most important thing is that this place is not far from the subway. After checking, I found that there is a direct bus to the school. Zhang Yuxi's school is also directly connected. Now, she breathed a sigh of relief. The children can't wait to move in. Lin Feng took his wife and children to the supermarket to buy a lot of packing boxes, as well as vacuum machines and vacuum bags. At noon, Lin Feng returned home to cook and contacted people to install surveillance in a moving company. There are so many things at home that it will take a day or 2 to pack. Fortunately, it is summer now, and winter clothes and quilts have been packed. "Okay, then let's start packing in the evening," Lin Feng said with a smile. "Now, everyone packs their own things. Dad has paper boxes here, you put all the things in, and pack them separately, okay?" Lin Feng marked on the paper boxes with a pen. "This is for Dabeo. This box contains clothes, this one contains toys, this one contains school supplies, and this one contains daily necessities. This box number 2 is for Erbeo. It contains clothes, toys, daily necessities, and school supplies. Okay, sort out the things in the room according to the labels above. Dad and Mom will go pack their own things. The dressing room in the master bedroom contains the family's winter clothes and quilts. Lin Feng packed them with vacuum bags, and Zhang Yuxi sorted them out. The smile on her face has never disappeared since she came back, and Lin Feng glanced at her from time to time. "Wife, let me do this. Pack your jewelry and skincare products, and mark them on the boxes." Zhang Yuxi stood up. "Okay, then I'll go. Thank you for your hard work, husband." Lin Feng smiled. "It's not hard, go." Zhang Yuxi left the skincare samples to be used in the evening, and packed up the others. Half an hour later, Lin Feng was done, packed, sorted, and marked. "Wife, I'll go see the children." "Okay." Needless to say, Sanbao was neatly packed, and Lin Feng was very satisfied. Erbao is also a girl who is careful. Erbao has a carefree personality, but after being the deputy monitor for several years, she has become much more careful. Although the tidying is not as neat as Sanbao, it is not bad. Open the door to Dabao and Sibao's room. They are playing as expected. There is no such thing as tidying up. Lin Feng asked lightly, "How is the tidying going?" The two children came back to their senses in an instant, and then they woke up to what they were supposed to do. Seeing Lin Feng's gentle smile, but the smile was a little scared. They immediately packed up their things obediently. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Dad will come to check later. Be sure to tidy up." I thought there was nothing at home, but when I started to pack up, I found that there was a lot to pack. Although there is everything in the small manner, I have to bring clothes and everything. In one night, I packed up a lot. After lunch at noon the next day, I didn't finish the tidying up until the afternoon. The people from the moving company came and loaded the boxes into the car one by one. Sanbao's violin was in a box, but this piano was expensive, and Sanbao had always loved it. When moving, Zhang Yuxi couldn't help but remind the workers again and again, "Please be careful, thank you." Finally, Dabe FIFA is dog food and cat food, cat litter, cat bowls, cat beds, etc. There was nothing else to take, so I had to pack it up to find out. There was only one lounge on the first floor, not counting the bedrooms. There were 5 rooms on the second floor, a storage room, a small study, and then 3 bedrooms. On the third floor, in addition to the master bedroom, there were 2 more rooms, and the others were cloakrooms, studies, etc. I came out to renovate the lounge on the first floor, the storage room on the second floor, and the small study into guest rooms in the future. Although there are 7 bedrooms, there are still many rooms that can be used. Sanbao's music room and Erbao's workshop have rooms that can be used. Lin Feng said, "There are 3 bedrooms on the second floor, and there are 2 bedrooms on the third floor in addition to Dad and Mom's room. You choose." The children discussed and decided that Sanbao and Erbao would live on the third floor. Because they like quietness, Dabao and Sabao are still self-aware and more noisy. The room has been allocated, so let's start tidying up. Lin Feng said as he was tidying up, "When we have time in the future, we will slowly renovate your bedroom." The children were now focused on their new home, and didn't pay much attention to the bedroom renovation. Great. Lin Feng started to cook dinner when they were almost done. That's right, they also moved the refrigerator over. After dinner, it was not dark yet, and the family started to play in the yard. Zhang Yuxi was worried, "Be careful of mosquitoes. Come on, spray some mosquito repellent." Lin Feng watched the children playing, thought for a while and said, "Wife, why don't we make a space for ourselves, and I'll grow some vegetables?" Zhang Yuxi had no objection. "Sure. I'm used to growing fruit trees in the yard, and now I'm a little uncomfortable with a bare lawn." Lin Feng smiled and said, "I'll transplant those fruit trees here." The couple began to plan the yard. 1/3 of the yard was left for the children. 1/3 was used to grow vegetables. The remaining 1/3 was used to plant fruit trees, make a swing, a small pavilion, etc. The children had no objection and couldn't wait to play on the swing. The old tree in the yard was just right. It seems that this summer vacation will be busy. There must be something to do in the new home. After a busy day, it did not affect Lin Feng's performance at night. Chapter 463 No Concept of Money. The next day, Lin Feng got up to make breakfast. The kitchen was twice as big as before, and Lin Feng was so happy. He hummed a little tune while cooking for his wife and children, and gave time to the workers who were installing the surveillance. After breakfast, Lin Feng and the children began to install the swing. He bought all the things in the same city and sent them over. because they said that as long as the conditions allowed, they would install it. This tree must be hundreds of years old, so there is no need to worry about the branches breaking when swinging on it, as they are as thick as an adult's leg. After a whole morning of hard work, we can finally swing. Lin Feng waved his hand. Wait, let Daddy try the safety. Sit on it, swing back and forth, swing back and forth. Oh my God, I got my childishness back all of a sudden, and I was getting higher and higher. Lin Feng couldn't help laughing. The four treasures. Oh, can I interrupt Daddy? But they want to play too. Sibeo was hesitant to speak, but Erbeo was the sweetest, shouting, Dad, come down quickly, you're too high. You'll fall down. At first, Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi thought Erbeo was showing concern and praise. After Lin Feng came down, Erbeo sat on it to demonstrate. Dad, you see, it should be like this, with a small arc. Then, Erbeo's loud laughter spread all around. Ha ha ha, so fun, so interesting, I feel like I'm flying. The other children were envious of Erbeo having so much fun. Sibeo looked up. Sister Erbeo, can I play for a while? Erbeo slowly stopped. Okay, let's play one by one. Let Sister Sanbeo play first. Sanbeo sat on it, and the swing shook a little, and she screamed in fright. Ah! Sibeo and Dabeo quickly stabilized the rope, and Erbeo helped Sanbeo sit up slowly. Erbeo coaxed her. Don't be afraid, Sanbeo's sister, we will take it slowly. Then he said to Dabeo and Sibeo, we will support you, you swing slowly. Zhang Yuxi and Lin Feng, who were planning the yard on the side, were very relieved to see this scene. With so many children, the most worrying thing is that the little ones will quarrel. Therefore, the couple tried to treat each child equally. Fortunately, their relationship has been very good since childhood. Sanbeo was still afraid. After sitting on it for a while, she was scared and got off quickly. Everyone persuaded her, and Lin Feng came over. Sanbeo's sister doesn't want to play, you guys play. Whether it is playing in the playground or other places, Sanbeo will stick to Lin Feng. Only with Lin Feng's company, dare to play. Lin Feng came over and half squatted. Dad will play with you for a while, okay. Sanbeo hesitated and nodded. Even Dabeo had a lot of fun with this swing. After several people played, they were still not satisfied and wanted to continue playing. At this time, the workers who installed the surveillance came. As soon as he met Lin Feng, he smiled. I didn't expect it was you, the boss. Lin Feng couldn't remember who it was for a moment. I also installed the surveillance for you in the house of Kehu Villa. So many years have passed in a blink of an eye. Lin Feng remembered, so it was you. He told Zhang Yuxi, wife, you play with the children, I'll go in and see if there's anything I can help with. Okay. This busy schedule lasted until dinner time. Lin Feng asked the children to call them down to eat. Sibeo came down. Dad, Uncle said they don't want to eat. Erbeo turned his head. I'll go. After a while, Erbeo followed 3 workers down. Lin Feng was a little surprised. The dining table here is very large, and it is not a problem to easily accommodate 10 people for dinner. The 3 people were obviously a little restrained and only ate the food in front of them. Lin Feng reminded, don't be polite, just treat it as if you are at home. There are dishes here, eat. Erbeo smiled and said, yes, my father's cooking is the best. Erbeo held the food in his mouth. That's right, in the world, only the food cooked by my father is the best. The 3 of them went to eat the dishes on other plates. After the children finished eating, Zhang Yuxi took the children for a walk. Lin Feng went to help install the surveillance. It was not until after 8 o'clock in the evening that the surveillance was installed. This day, it was over. Late at night, Zhang Yuxi thought of something and asked in a daze. Husband, we are moving to a new house. Do you want to invite everyone to leave the house and sit? It can be regarded as a happy occasion for moving to a new house. Lin Feng patted Zhang Yuxi from time to time, like coaxing a child. Well, this is possible. The next day, Lin Feng called relatives and friends who had a good relationship in Yangcheng, including Liu Qing, Zhang Chenchen's family. It was afternoon, and Lin Feng began his busy work as a chef. Zhang Yuxi took the children to decorate the new house to make it look festive. Since the yard has grown, Dabe and Fifa have been very happy. The favorite thing is to bask in the sun, which is very comfortable. Counting, Anlan's family includes 5 people, including An's mother, Liu Qing and her daughter. In addition, there are Lin Jiazhen's family of 4, and Zhang Chenchen and his son. There are also Dongni, Ming Guang, Qin Ziaon and others. These people have a good relationship with Lin Feng and are also his acquaintances in Yangchang. And Lan came first and started screaming as soon as she entered the door. Damn it, you bought a new house without telling me, you are so disloyal. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, I don't know either. I only found out after Lin Feng bought it. I have been working on the new house these days and I didn't have time to say hello to you. And Lan pulled Zhang Yuxi, come on, take me to see it. It would be a lie if Lan didn't envy. Everyone wants to live a good life. And Lan stood in front of the huge balcony on the 3rd floor, looking around, envious. Wow, when will I have the money to buy a house here? In Lan's opinion, the villa in Kehu Villa is already very good. In recent years, the price of Kehu Villa has risen rapidly due to the surrounding construction. Let's not talk about the value first. The apartment type of Kehu Villa is what Lan loves. As a result, she saw this. Damn, it's great to be rich. There is no best, only better. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, there are many people in our family. The children will be in the 4th grade in the second half of the year. They are getting older day by day. It's a bit inappropriate to live in Kehu Villa. I wanted to buy a house before, but there are very few such large apartments. Lin Feng has many ways. And Lan was so jealous. Yes, yes, your husband is the best. He is awesome, awesome. Zhang Yuxi looked proud, of course. From the time she got married to now, she has almost no worries. Everything is solved by Lin Feng. As a woman, it is lucky and a blessing to marry Lin Feng. And Lan rubbed her chin. This house is luxuriously decorated. It can't be bought without tens of millions. Zhang Yuxi thought for a while and said, I have no concept of money now. And Lan reached out and pinched Zhang Yuxi's face. I'm asking you, do you have shame? Do you have shame? Remarks like yours are Versailles literature. Zhang Yuxi was very serious about Versailles. I really have no concept of money. Lin Feng bought everything for me and let me buy it myself. I think I can afford anything I like. And Lan glared at her, rich woman, support me. I'm easy to support. Zhang Yuxi asked, what can you do? Do you have a skill? Eating, drinking and having fun, does it count? Forget it. No, I can act cute, and I can say sweet words to make you happy. Forget it, you're not as cute as my 3rd child, and you're not as good at making people happy as my 2nd child. There's not much point in supporting you. Get lost, you're nothing. Call me mom. Mom. Zhang Yuxi looked at Lan in shock, you're so good. Mom, give your daughter a few million to spend. Don't even call me ancestors. Damn, I was careless, you took advantage of me. Get lost. And Lan always felt that her life was not satisfactory. But thinking back carefully, Liu Bo was a good man, full of responsibility and love for herself and her children. After being married for many years, he treated her like a baby and spoiled her. But even so, every time she woke up late at night, or when she was taking care of the children alone, she always felt that something was missing, empty. Looking straight ahead, Lan finally had the answer in her heart. It turned out that this was out of jealousy. She was naturally happy that her best friend lived a good life. But one day when she got married, the same life had a contrast, and human nature gradually emerged from the dark corners. But now she suddenly understood. Liu Bo could not become a person like Lin Feng, and she could not have a life as good as Zhang Yuxi. In this case, it is actually a good thing to re-examine your life. Yuxi. Huh? If one day, I am desperate, will you support me? Yes. You are my best friend. And Lan grinned and said nothing more. Chapter 464 Going Astray. Other guests arrived one after another. Lin Feng greeted the adults, and the 4 treasures greeted the children. After visiting, Lin Jiajin was amazed. Boss Lin, it's amazing, changing the house again. He was currently living in a second-hand house, and the manor had already been arranged. While arranging the dishes, Lin Feng smiled and said, there are many people in our family, and the children are all grown up. How can we sleep if we don't change the room? This sentence is true. If it were in the past, I would definitely ask about the house price, but now forget it. Anyway, no matter how much it costs, I can't afford it. Mr. Lin, there's something I want to trouble you with. In this time, Lin Feng finished the work at hand. We are all family, it would be too polite to trouble you. Lin Jiajin coughed lightly. It's like this, I want to let Ziao stay with you for a while during the summer vacation. During this period, Zion has been running out all day. Today he said he was going to the library, and tomorrow he said he was going to the internet cafe. I can't take care of him because I'm busy with business during the summer vacation. Wang Lu is busy taking care of the children. I'm afraid that this child will do something behind our backs. What if he goes astray if we are not careful? He listens to you, so I thought you should teach him well this summer vacation. Whenever I communicate with him, he becomes impatient and says he knows everything. The night before yesterday, he didn't come back late at night, and his cell phone was turned off when I called him. I went to a nearby internet cafe at 4 in the morning to arrest him, and beat him up when I came back. Lin Feng frowned. Beating is useless. If it worked, we would have beaten him into a good boy long ago. Lin Jiajin also regretted it. I was so angry at the time that I didn't think about this at all. When I came back, Wang Lu told me that children are very hot-tempered now and can't be beaten. Now the news is always talking about teenagers, which makes me scared. But when I see him like this, I feel bloated. There is no other way. I can only think of bringing you here during the summer vacation to calm his temper. Lin Feng thinks living here is not a problem, but let's make it clear in advance that I will try my best to guide Zion, so don't put all your hopes on me. Lin Jiajin smiled. I know that. I will also take advantage of this summer vacation to cultivate my character. This matter is settled. Xianchen, Zhang Yuxi, the four treasures, Zion, KK, and Guoguo are all playing on the swings in the yard. After the adults finished eating, they moved chairs to the door and sat and chatted. Lin Jiajin asked, "This yard is so big and comfortable." Wang Lu threw the youngest son to him. "You take care of it for a while, I'm almost exhausted." The little one is just running around, and once he is put down, he rushes forward like a wind and fire wheel. It won't work without someone watching. Lin Jiajin took the youngest son and said, "Come on, Dad will take you to play with your brothers and sisters." The children were swinging on the swings. Someone suggested climbing a tree. This tree is not the kind that grows straight up, but it grows in a winding way. It is not very tall and very strong. Zion is the biggest one here. He took the lead and climbed up easily. The children below were delighted and followed suit. Sibao climbed up without any effort, followed by Dabao and Zhang Yuxi. Erbao, Xianchen and Sanbao were all wearing small skirts, which must be inconvenient for climbing a tree. Erbao shook his head and said, "Let's go change clothes." Then he took Sanbao and Xianchen's hands and ran to the room. Now there was no one on the swing. Lin Jiajin held the younger one and played on the swing with Liu Bo's KK. Lin Jiajin's child is older than KK in Guoguo and is in elementary school. What's the point of swinging? Climbing a tree is so interesting. So the two little guys started to climb up panting, and Lin Jiajin and Liu Bo cheered and encouraged their sons. The most pitiful one is KK, who hugged the tree and cried anxiously, "Dad, Dad." Liu Bo watched from the side and laughed. And Lan, who is not far away, rolled her eyes and said, "What a retard." It is said that when there is no danger, the father is the biggest danger. I saw Liu Bo hanging KK on the tree trunk, holding his little pee-pee and encouraging him. "Come on, son." KK really couldn't get down or up now. He turned his head and called his mother in panic. "Mom, Mom, help me, help me." Everyone couldn't help laughing, even Lan laughed angrily. Liu Bo, put the child down quickly. Liu Bo quickly held his son. "It's okay, my wife, I'm holding KK." And Lan rolled her eyes angrily, looked at KK's pitiful appearance, and yelled, "What are you doing?" Liu Bo trembled and quickly held the child down. And Lan said angrily, "Damn, you didn't give birth to the baby after 10 months of pregnancy, so you don't feel sorry for it at all." And Lan laughed and said, "I heard on the internet that if you don't play with your baby, what's the point of having a baby?" And Lan snorted, "If you want to play, do it in a place where I can't see you." In fact, I also like to play with KK. When I raised Guoguo, I was a new mother and I was trembling with fear about many things. As for the second child, I have experience, so I can just raise him casually. I like playing hide and seek and games with KK the most, and KK also cooperates. Compared with her brother Guoguo's mischievousness, KK has a good personality and is a bit similar to Sanbao, but it's a pity that she is not a girl. Here, the three girls have changed their clothes and come to climb the tree. Erbao has learned taekwondo before, and his motor nerves are more developed than Sanbao. After changing his pants, he swooshed like a little monkey. Sanbao and Xianchen have always been quiet girls and have never done such things. Compared with Xianxin, Sanbao is much better than her. After all, every holiday, Lin Feng would take the children to do outdoor sports. After all, Sanbao's physique and sports are much better than his peers. In the end, Xianxin was left alone to climb anxiously below. Lin Jiajin smiled and asked, "Do you want me to help?" Xianxin said pitifully, "Thank you, uncle." "You're welcome." The children sat on the tree, swinging their feet, and felt another kind of scenery. Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh. "When we were young, we climbed trees, dug bird nests, went to the river to catch fish, and did so many things." Zhang Chenchun's father Zhang Ming agreed. Yes, there were no toys and games in the past. A few friends ran around and played with the older children. "When I grow up a little bit, I will help my family cut grass for pigs, cook, and work in the fields. There are so many things." Lin Feng didn't cut grass for pigs, but he lived a happy life. They sat for a while, the sun went down, and the guests went back one after another. Lin Jiajin winked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng asked with a smile, "Xiao Wen, come and live with us for a while? I'm quite busy during this period, and I'm worried that no one will look after the 4 treasures." Zhang Yuxi looked at Lin Feng with a little surprise, and then calmly looked away. Lin Jiajin was still pretending. "Well, Xiao Wen, what do you think?" Xiao Wen hesitated and nodded. "Then I'm sorry to bother you." Lin Feng smiled slightly. "We are all family, and I'm asking you to do it. How can it be considered as bothering you?" Lin Jiajin pulled Xiao Wen aside and took out the cash he had prepared in advance. "If you don't have enough money, tell me, and I'll give it to you later. Use this money to buy some toys and delicious food for your younger brothers and sisters. A brother should act like a brother. Also, when you live here, be more diligent and don't sleep until noon, understand? Set a good example for your younger brothers and sisters, and don't lead them astray." After giving detailed instructions, Lin Jiajin took Wang Lu and Xiao home. Chapter 465, Growing Your Own Vegetables. At this time, the little one was so tired that she fell asleep. Zhang Yuxi had already taken the 4 children to wash and go to bed. Lin Feng cleaned up Xiao's room. "If you need anything, just tell us. We are all family. Just treat it as home. Here are the toiletries, all brand new. The light switch is here. There's a phone here. Call me if you have anything at night. This is my t-shirt and shorts. Just treat them as your pajamas." After giving detailed instructions, Lin Feng smiled and said, "Go to bed early. Do you want me to wake you up tomorrow?" Xiao quickly said, "Wake me up tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't know how long I will sleep." "Okay." The next day, after Lin Feng made breakfast, he called the family to get up and eat. The 4 children asked, "Why is Brother Xiao at our house?" Lin Feng smiled and said, "Brother Xiao will live in our house for a while." After hearing this, the children shouted happily. The breakfast was very rich. Xiao hadn't had a good breakfast for a long time. The class time of junior high school and elementary school is different. Xiao went out at 7 o'clock and usually bought food outside. Only on Saturdays and Sundays can we have a good breakfast. Lin Feng said, "This morning, Dad is going out to buy things. Let Mom help you preview your 4th grade homework." Sibao asked, "What is Dad buying? Is it delicious?" "Dad is going to buy a hoe and make a fence garden to grow vegetables." The children wanted to go when they heard it. "Dad will be gone for an hour or 2 and will be back soon. If you want to do something, you can do it when the time comes." However, the children did not stay disappointed for too long and asked what to plant. Cucumbers, eggplants, cowpeas, peppers, etc. The children were happy again. Lin Feng smiled and said to Xiao, "Xiao, do your homework after you finish eating. If you don't know anything, ask your aunt." Xiao had no objection. "Okay." After dinner, Zhang Yuxi helped the children preview the 4th grade textbooks. Xiao was doing his homework in his room. Looking at his school bag, he suddenly realized something. "I thought it was strange before. Did he come to congratulate him on his new home? Why did he let him carry the school bag for no reason? Now it seems that his father had this plan for a long time." Xiao. "Dong dong dong. Xiao Wen, it's me. I'm here to bring you some fruit. Come in." Zhang Yuxi came in with the cut fruit. "Call me if you need anything. If you don't know how to do something, you can ask me." Xiao Wen nodded. After a while, the sound of a violin came from upstairs. Xiao Wen was stunned for a moment. He was eating fruit while doing his Chinese homework. Chinese and math were fine, but English was his weak point. He could barely cope with it, but the foundation was not well laid. Lin Feng bought a hoe and came back. He also bought a watering can, fertilizer, seeds and textbooks. At noon, the sun was hot. When the children took a nap, Lin Feng started to turn the soil. Zhang Yuxi was in front of the window, reading the textbook to Lin Feng. When the children got up, Lin Feng had already turned a large piece of land. The four treasures exclaimed, "Wow, it looks very interesting." Lin Feng said, "Your tools are over there." Xiao Wen also thought it was interesting. "Uncle, do you have my tools?" Lin Feng handed him the hoe in his hand. "Use mine." The four treasures found a small hoe, a small shovel, and a small kettle. Lin Feng sat down to rest for a while, watching the children holding hoes and directing them. "Come, turn this oil like Dad did just now. Be careful, don't hurt yourself." Lin Feng sat in the shade and ate watermelon. "Come over and eat watermelon when you're thirsty, and then continue working." Sibao made 1 trip. 2 trips. When it came to the 5th trip, Lin Feng finally spoke, "Can you leave some?" Sibao ate a piece of watermelon. "Okay. This is the first time doing something like this. Don't think about the progress, it's good enough if you can do it smoothly." Zhang Yuxi came over with a fan. "Honey, how long will it take?" "It's almost done." Several people were exhausted, but they felt it was meaningful. Sibao said excitedly, "Mom, Dad told us to plant 1 kind each. Let's plant tomatoes first today." Tomatoes were chosen by Sibao because they can be eaten. Zhang Yuxi thought this was pretty good. Each child was responsible for taking care of 1 vegetable. "How about this? After everything is planted, each of you write a diary." "Okay." The children had no objection and thought it was interesting. Lin Feng opened the book. "Come, let's find out how tomatoes are planted first. Come, let's take out the tomato seedlings and follow the steps above." Xiao also participated in it and found it very interesting. Lin Feng gave the book to Zhang Yuxi. "Wife, you read it and we will do it." Zhang Yuxi took the book. Each square meter of land requires about 25 to 40 kilograms of fertilizer, and fill the fertilizer 6 to 8 centimeters into the ground. Sibao asked soul-searchingly, "Dad, how much is 25 to 40 kilograms of fertilizer?" He gestured again. "Is 6 to 8 centimeters so deep?" Lin Feng pursed his lips, went to the kitchen, and soon took out an instrument. This is the weight instrument he used to match the materials, which is small and convenient. Zhang Yuxi looked back. "Husband, wait, there are more steps above. Before putting the seedlings or plants into the ground, sprinkle a few handfuls of organic fertilizer or eggshells in the planting pit. When the tomato roots grow underground, they will absorb these nutrients, thereby increasing the fruit yield." "Well, I have no experience for the first time, so I have to raise them scientifically." Lin Feng pursed his lips and took out some eggshells, all fresh. "Dad will make a cake for you tonight." Zhang Yuxi was silent for a moment and winked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng came over and looked at the steps above. It was written, "Tomatoes prefer slightly acidic soil. Too strong acidity will cause calcium loss in the plant, leading to navel rot. It is recommended to control the soil pH between 6.0 and 6.8. If the soil test result exceeds 6.8, water the tomatoes with an equal amount of water mixed with cold coffee, or cover the soil with a layer of pine needles. If the measurement result is lower than 6.0, add some dolomite lime or other substances that can provide a source of calcium, such as eggshell powder or calcite powder, to the soil." Lin Feng. "Haha, tomatoes were grown in the countryside before, and some people grew them in their own pots. Why aren't there so many trivial matters? Where can I test it myself?" Lin Feng pretended not to see this line. "The plants should be 45 to 90 centimeters apart. This spacing allows you to move between the plants, making it easier for you to water, weed and harvest. If it's hot where you live, the spacing between the plants should be reduced to 23 to 46 centimeters. This distance allows the plants to shade each other and prevent the fruits from being sunburnt." Lin Feng asked the children, "Is it hot here?" In fact, he didn't know whether it was hot outside Yangchang, so he chose a distance of 46 centimeters. Zhang Yuxi understood. "Husband, go ahead, I'll read it to you." So, in addition to Zhang Yuxi, Lin Feng took the 4 treasures and Xiao to measure the distance and make a small pit. "I bought 20 tomato plants and planted 4 rows. Sprinkle eggshells and fertilizer in the pits. There are 20 pits, and the 4 treasures have to check them carefully. After all, these are all his crops. Eating vegetables grown by yourself makes me happy, so naturally I have to be serious. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 466 Zaya Aoun's Transformation. After checking the 20 small holes, Zhang Yuxi continued. Bury 50% to 80% of the plant in the soil. The roots must be completely covered, and the soil at the roots must be compacted. If there are leaves on the part buried in the soil, trim them in advance, otherwise they will rot in the soil. They carefully took out the tomato seedlings and checked them one by one. Everyone planted, and Zhang Yuxi checked with a book like inspecting the examination room. Sibeo, the soil should be compacted a little bit, yes, but don't use too much force. Well, Erbeo and Sanbeo did a good job, great. After they were all planted, Zhang Yuxi continued to read. Add stakes or cages to the tomatoes, they can support the vines of tomatoes. The stakes or cages should be added when the plants are planted. If nothing is installed when planting, it should be added within 14 days at least. Everyone. Zhang Yuxi said again, if you like to do it yourself, you can also try to make a tomato cage yourself. Lin Feng stood up and took a look. If it's simple, we can finish it today. The cage is very simple to make. Lin Feng clapped his hands. This is simple, I will do it, I have the materials at home. So, except Zhang Yuxi, everyone started to get busy. Working together, the cage was soon ready. Zhang Yuxi reminded Sibeo, Sibeo, I suggest you find some paper and pen. It's about watering every day. Sibeo walked into the house and brought paper and pen. Listen carefully, starting from the first week, water every 7 to 10 days. At the beginning, water each plant with 500 milliliters of warm water every day. Watering the entire plant directly will increase the risk of disease. To prevent diseases such as mold and fungi, water in the morning. Remember, water in the morning. Okay, reduce the number of watering after 10 days. As the plant grows and the weather gets warmer, increase the amount of watering accordingly. Water 2 to 3 times a week, 3 to 4 liters of water each time, and ensure the moisture of the soil. After speaking, Zhang Yuxi looked up and asked, are you done writing? Sibeo nodded, I'm done. After tossing for an afternoon, the tomatoes were finally planted. Lin Feng washed his hands in the sink in the yard, smiling and saying, from today on, the tomatoes will be taken care of by Sibeo. Whether we can eat tomatoes depends on your ability. Sibeo said seriously, I promise to complete the task. Let everyone in the family eat the tomatoes I planted. Lin Feng also became very serious. Okay, please remember your work. Yes. Zhang Yuxi smiled with her hands covering her mouth. Okay, go back to the house and rest for a while, you are all tired and sweating. But Sibeo said, we haven't watered it yet. Zhang Yuxi reminded, water along the roots, don't water the whole thing. Got it, Mom. After the work was done, she looked at the pepper seedlings that Lin Feng brought back. He chose the bell pepper, which the children like to eat, so he simply planted some. He also bought 20 seedlings, and the one assigned to Erbeo. Let's go, let's continue working after dinner. In order to save time, Lin Feng made noodles in the evening. After eating, the family came to the yard to plant peppers. The lights in the yard were still sufficient, Zhang Yuxi said while holding a fan. There should be 25-38 centimeters spacing between each row of peppers, and 30 to 45 centimeters spacing between plants. Lin Feng led Zhao Wen to measure the spacing. Okay. Zhang Yuxi looked at it and said, sow seeds a little below the surface of the soil, 1 centimeter between the seeds, and add a little more soil on top. With previous experience, the few people planted the seedlings this time with ease. Even Sibeo, who is impatient, did it well. Zhang Yuxi smiled and said, Erbeo, remember, peppers need frequent watering, and make sure the soil is moist enough. The family was exhausted, and early the next morning, Lin Feng called Sibeo up. Sibeo and Erbeo went to the yard to water tomatoes and peppers. Lin Feng thought about it last night and decided not to plant cowpea seeds. It would be easier to buy seedlings directly. So the next morning, after breakfast, Dada went to see if there were any seedlings to plant at home. At about noon, He bought eggplant seedlings, cowpea seedlings, and cucumber seedlings. She drove to the greenhouse to buy them. On the way back, she bought some roses suitable for planting. After the family finished their work, the day was completely over. I'll call tomorrow and have someone transplant the fruit trees in our yard and plant them here. Suddenly, Lin Feng seemed to have thought of something. He stood up and walked out. I also bought some mint and planted it in the yard for fertilizer. A week later, everything was done, and Lin Jiajin called to ask about his son's situation. He's fine. Our family has been busy these days and he has no time to go out. Lin Jiajin couldn't help but be curious. What are you busy with? Lin Feng smiled and said, this week, we cleaned up the yard and planted the land. Usually, Zhang Yuxi is doing homework at home or cleaning the yard with us, so he has no time to go out. Lin Jiajin was very satisfied. Not bad. Let him stay at your house and let him do all the housework. This, Lin Feng really doesn't know how to order Zhang Yuxi. However, this summer vacation, he has started to let the children learn to wash dishes by themselves. It is inevitable that a bowl will be broken. But you can't stop your child from doing it just because you feel sorry for the bowl. After watering the vegetables every day, Lin Feng would take the children to the playground, park, and flower and bird market when he had time. During the time Zhang Yuxi was at Lin Feng's house, his work and rest time was very regular, and he got along well with the four treasures. After a week, he finished all his summer homework, which even surprised himself. A friend called, Lin Jiajin, have you been helping out in the store during this period? I didn't see you pretending in the group. Zhang Yuxi said absent-mindedly, I'm doing my homework. Summer vacation is so long, you can do it after you have enough fun. How much have you done? I finished it. Fuck, is this true? You have finished all the homework. Is there a problem? Zhang Yuxi's good friends have similar grades, and the summer homework assigned by the teacher is calculated according to the grades. This time Zhang Yuxi's grades are average, and there is a lot of homework. No problem, boss, lend me the answer. Zhao smiled faintly, please write it yourself. I worked hard to write it. That's not nice. Just take a look. Write it yourself. It's not like I don't have hands and brains. I won't talk to you anymore. I'm busy. Damn it. After hanging up the phone, Zhao was silent for a while. He recalled that Lin Feng asked him to deliver fruits to the four treasures today. The third treasure was in his music room, playing the violin over and over again. That serious little face. Zhao didn't disturb him and left after delivering the fruits. Chapter 467 Deep Reflection. Erbao's workshop is just opposite. Erbao is wearing goggles and work clothes and working in the operation room. The workshop is divided into three parts. One is the design room, one is the operation room, and one is the exhibition area. Erbao is also a little famous now. Her design works are deeply loved by her peers, and they are sold out in seconds every time they are put on the shelves. Erbao just finished making a pair of bracelets and stretched. Brother Zhao is here, thank you. Zhao smiled, can I have a look? Of course. Erbao went to wash his hands, and when he came out, he saw Zhao looking at the exhibits. Do you like any? I can give you one. Zhao hurriedly shook his head, no, these are all things for girls. Erbao ate the fruit in small bites and said with a smile, maybe I can use it in the future. Zhao smiled and admired sincerely, you are so awesome. When he was in the third grade, he was still buying spinning top toys at the school gate with his classmates to compete. Buying snacks and playing games, these are all he thought about all day. In response to Zhao's praise, Erbao asked, is it great? Not bad, I want to be a famous jewelry designer in the future. Zhao did not doubt that Erbao could do it. He has been working hard for his dream since he was a child. Erbao asked, what do you want to do when you grow up, Zhao? Zhao was speechless, I don't know yet. Erbao said, you will know later. Dabao and Sabao were in the practice room. They were energetic and restless, and they would fight each other whenever they had nothing to do. Although Sabao was young, he was only slightly inferior to Dabao. When Zhao came in, he saw the two fighting fiercely. Zhao. Sabao immediately retracted his feet, no more playing, I want to eat watermelon. Dabao walked over slowly, you won just now, Sabao is almost stronger than brother now. Sabao snorted, ha ha ha, of course. Seeing Sabao's proud look, Dabao was speechless for a while, turned his head and asked Zhao, brother Zhao, Do you know Taekwondo? Let's play together. Zhang Yuxi was stunned for a moment and waved his hand. I learned it before, but not now. Why? Because I'm lazy and don't want to learn it. He couldn't say this in front of his younger brothers Dabao and Sabao. He was too embarrassed to speak, so he just said, I had something to do at the time, so I didn't go. When he came out of the room, Dabao followed him out. He was going to write calligraphy and practice calligraphy. Zhang Yuxi thought of his dog crawling handwriting. Your handwriting is ugly. Dabao nodded, yeah, it's much better now. He has been practicing calligraphy for 3 years, and his handwriting is very beautiful. Every time the teacher corrects his homework and test papers, he feels happy and has been a role model for students many times. Zhang Yuxi curiously walked into the room with Dabao and took a look. Suddenly, he was shocked. Damn, a 3rd grade student, his handwriting is so beautiful. It looks like it was printed out. No wonder my aunt looked so strange when she saw his dog crawling handwriting. After coming out of Dabao's room, Erbao and Sabao said they were going to a swimming competition. Anyway, it was hot and the 2 children were very active. The 2 children invited Zhang Yuxi to join them. You guys go? I have something to do. Give him a lifebuoy, and he might consider it. Back in the room, Zhang Yuxi was a little autistic. He knew that he was not outstanding, and compared with other children, he was in the middle. His grades were okay before the 3rd grade. After the 3rd grade, he began to become playful and not interested in studying, and his grades gradually declined sharply. It is said that birds of a feather flock together, and this makes sense. People with different personalities will be attracted to friends with the same personality, and over time they will become friends. In Micheng. In class, he was inseparable from several classmates whose families were well off. What are you studying for? Haven't you heard that people who study hard will work for bosses who start businesses with poor grades in the future? Let's go to college and open a store together after graduation. Anyway, our family has several houses and millions of savings. As an only child, there is no need for me to work so hard. Who can predict the future life? If you don't live a carefree life, you are not in vain. Have fun. Zhang Yuxi has been playing with them for a long time, and over time he has been subtly influenced. Among his peers, Lin Feng is the richest and his children are the most outstanding. Before, his father talked about the 4 treasures, and he retorted, they are rich, so they will definitely spend a lot of money to raise their children. However, after spending some time together, he was slapped in the face. The 4 treasures do their own things. People of his age rarely do housework, but they have already taken turns to do housework. When he was sleeping in, they had already gotten up, so there was no need to supervise him to allocate time. In his imagination, it must be Sanbao who was forced to practice the piano while crying, and the uncle and aunt next to him gave him a painstaking education. No, they practice on their own initiative, okay? I didn't see my uncle and aunt force me to say a word. In his imagination, the 4 kids' summer vacation must be all kinds of interest classes and all kinds of makeup classes. No, their summer vacation is a real summer vacation. In addition to previewing the 4th grade courses, they all have their own things to do. Zhang Yuxi covered his face. Damn, I feel like I'm going to shut myself in. The key is, their families are richer than mine, and they are more promising than me. This is the first time Zhang Yuxi has reflected on himself so deeply. Chapter 468 Writing Field. Knock, knock, knock. It was Erbao's voice outside the door. Brother Zhang Yuxi, it's time to eat. After dinner, Lin Feng said that Sanbao and Zhang Yuxi would go to Shanghai in a few days to prepare for a performance. Now, Sanbao's talent has been recognized and he is very popular in China. Erbao ate fruit. Dad, brother Sabao just told me that horse riding is fun. Didn't you say that you would take us to ride when we have a holiday? Lin Feng remembered this. Okay, then tomorrow, we'll go in the afternoon and come back in the evening. Turning to Zhang Yuxi, he said, you haven't been out for the past few days, you must be bored, let's play together. Lin Feng's black gold card can be used for free consumption at designated locations in Guangzhou. For example, golf courses, bowling alleys, horse riding fields, etc. Lin Feng called to make an appointment that night and arrived at the horse farm at nearly 5 o'clock the next afternoon. Lin Feng and his group drove to the horse farm. The location is remote and it took almost an hour to get there. There were already staff waiting to receive them here, and they were polite and thoughtful. Hello, Mr. Lin. Is this your first time at our horse farm? Let me introduce you. Lin Feng nodded. Okay. The staff member smiled and said, we have more than 50 excellent riding horses here, and each horse has a certified pedigree. There are docile horses suitable for beginners, and there are fierce horses suitable for advanced riders, with quick reactions and strong personalities. The staff member took a look at the 4 treasures. Of course, we also have many horses suitable for children. There are multiple venues in the park, including speed tracks, indoor training grounds, children's training grounds and obstacle training grounds. Don't worry about the safety performance. All venues are paved with 18 centimeters thick yellow sand to protect the safety of beginners. Lin Feng nodded. I have a child who can ride a horse, but none of ours can. The staff member hurriedly said, we will assign corresponding coaches to your children. After Lin Feng signed and registered, the reception staff took Lin Feng and others to change clothes. We provide accommodation, catering, showers and other services. We also have regular entertainment such as billiards, table tennis, darts and chess. There is also an artificial lake outside where you can fish, go boating, etc. In order to surprise the guests, we have set up a new road to go to the orchard to pick fruits. But there is a fee. The children couldn't wait to ride horses to pick fruits. Zhang Yuxi came to such a place for the first time. He looked around curiously with anticipation. After changing clothes, the staff had arranged the coaches. Except for Sibeo, everyone else was riding horses for the first time. After a while, Zhang Yuxi and the 4 treasures sat on the docile pony, and the coach led the horse out. Dabeo and Sibeo were very happy. Erbeo pursed his lips, his little face was tense, and his whole body was full of rejection. The coach smiled and said, don't be afraid, kid, this pony is very docile and super well behaved. No, look, I tell it to stop, and it will stop. Stop. Sure enough, the pony stopped. When the coach gave the order, it started to move forward again. Look, he's very obedient, isn't he? Erbeo's expression was indeed much better, and he was not so nervous and scared. Sanbeo, who made Lin Feng and his wife worried, came out happily riding a beautiful little white horse. Later, they found out that it was this little horse that took the initiative to get close to Sanbeo. Sanbeo chose it, and she liked small animals, so she didn't feel scared. Zhang Yuxi also rode a little pony, which felt strange and happy. The happiest one was Sibeo, who rode the little pony around the venue and ran a circle as soon as he came out. The remaining children were envious. Sibeo had already gone to other training grounds with a coach. Now, the coaches led the foals and took a few people around the venue for a few laps. Erbeo and Dabeo were the first to master the essentials, and the coach led the horse and started trotting. Don't worry, the coach will follow you. Erbeo and Dabeo didn't need to make people worry at all, and they had a lot of fun. Next was Zhang Yuxi, who could also make the pony run, and it was very stable. After mastering several elements of horse riding and not being afraid, you can run. Zhang Yuxi is a Buddhist. She thinks it's good to be like this. It's good to have a gradual process. The first person who can ride a horse without a coach is Lin Feng. The coach couldn't help but say, wow, your dad is so awesome. In the eyes of the children, there is nothing that their dad can't do. Lin Feng rode the horse to the outside. I'm going to find Sibeo, and come back later. Sibeo was having fun in the children's field outside. Dad, I'm here. Sibeo can ride independently, but Lin Feng is followed by the coach. Dad, let's go to the orchard to pick fruits, okay? Okay. Lin Feng's coach said, I'll go with you. As he said that, he pretended to get on the horse. Lin Feng smiled and said, no, I can handle it, no problem. The coach didn't dare to let the big guy who had only learned for a few hours take this risk. If something went wrong, he would be in trouble. So, as soon as Lin Feng left, he rode the horse and followed him out. As a result, he rode steadily all the way, and the coach was relieved when he saw this. But they followed behind without any slackness. The horses here are already familiar with the road to the orchard. Once they are on the road, they know how to go. There's indeed a large orchard in front, and a horse parking lot. Apples, pears, grapes, and a few strawberries are grown here. They are first calculated by the head, and then sold by the pound. The price is several times higher than the market. But the rich people who come here don't care about this little money at all. Happiness is the most important thing. On the other side, Dabeo and Zhang Yuxi can already trot for a distance. Erbeo and Sanbeo rode the ponies slowly and went out for a walk with a coach. Zhang Yuxi didn't want to ride anymore. She was uncomfortable with the bumps. She might as well sit down and have a drink. Lin Feng and Sabeo brought 2 baskets of fruit. The staff washed them and brought them up later. Zhang Yuxi handed her drink to Lin Feng. Are you tired? Lin Feng smiled and shook his head. Not tired. That feeling is really hard to describe. I can only say that I feel refreshed. Sabeo. He looked up and smiled. Mom, why don't you ask Sabeo if he's tired? Zhang Yuxi wiped the sweat off her son's face. Go change your clothes. Lin Feng stood up. Come on, son, let's go take a shower. After taking a shower, he felt refreshed. The fruit hasn't come up yet. The staff said to chill it in a few minutes. After a while, the babies came back one after another. Zhang Yuxi took Sabeo to change clothes and take a shower. Lin Feng took Sabeo to the men's room, and Sabeo waited outside eating potato chips. Chapter 469, Encountering Baby's Friend. Soon, Sabeo also came. Come in, Mom is in the bathroom. After cleaning the children, the boys didn't need to blow dry their hair, as it would be dry in a while. Zhang Yuxi blew the hair of her 2 daughters. Sabeo's hair was really smooth like silk, and her hair quality was amazing. Sabeo's hair was thick and hard. It is said that people with hard hair have stubborn tempers and changeable personalities. Sabeo only needed to braid a small braid for herself, but Sabeo needed to clean up for a while. In this time, Xiaoan came out of the bath. There is a restaurant here, and Lin Feng and his family are eating fruit. Let's eat in the restaurant tonight. It's already 8 o'clock, and it's almost 9 o'clock when we drive back. It's estimated that it's 10 o'clock to cook, which is a bit late. Lin Feng likes the feeling of riding a horse. Let's do it again tomorrow. He wants to adapt for a few days, go to the advanced race course to run, and feel the galloping of the horse. Lin Feng asked Xiaowen, is horse riding fun? Xiaowen nodded, it's fun. My horse is very docile. The coach taught me a few commands and it is very obedient. Lin Feng smiled and said, next time we come, we will find the horse we rode today. Lin Feng's horse is a docile old horse. He is a novice and feels that it is very stable to ride. Perhaps, it is a preconceived idea. There are quite a few people in the restaurant. Lin Feng and others found a table and sat down and ordered a few special dishes. They also asked which ones are light and suitable for children. There are many children in the restaurant who are also riding horses, and they unexpectedly ran into Xiao Rui. Xiao Rui gives people the feeling that he has received elite education and is now the monitor of class 7. Xiao Rui used to be gentle and cute, but now he is in the 3rd grade and has a maturity beyond his peers. The person who came is not his mother, but the aunt of the family. They are all classmates in kindergarten and go to the same elementary school. They should say hello when they meet. Xiao Rui. Xiao Rui was eating quietly. He looked over when he heard the words and his eyes lit up. Xiao Rui came over with a meal, and the aunt behind him quickly brought the plates over. Hello, uncle and aunt. Xiao Rui was well educated and very polite. He looked at Xiaowen. Hello, big brother. Xiaowen nodded. Hello. Sibeo's eyes were fixed on Xiao Rui's bowl. Xiao Rui, what are you eating? How does it taste? Xiao Rui said, not bad, it tastes just so-so. At the end, he said, it's not as good as uncle's. When he was in kindergarten, Xiao Rui went to Lin Feng's house to eat a few times, and the memory was vivid. Lin Feng smiled slightly. Really? You can come to your uncle's house when you are free in the future. Your uncle will cook for you whatever you want to eat. Xiao Rui smiled all of a sudden. Really? Then where is your new address? Have you come to see us? Xiao Rui showed a hint of shyness. Well, I wanted to say hello when I passed by your house. I didn't expect to see you. I asked the security uncle and found out that you moved away. Lin Feng smiled and said, yes, our new home is in the western suburbs. Come and visit when you are free. Sibeo hurriedly said, like offering a treasure, I planted tomatoes, and tomatoes will grow in the future. Sibeo smiled and said, I planted sweet peppers, the kind that tastes sweet. Xiao Rui asked Sanbeo what he planted, and Sanbeo was concentrating on eating the fruit. I planted cowpeas. Xiao Rui's eyebrows were curved. I like blowing cowpeas the most. Sibeo smiled. I like to eat delicious food the most. Xiao Rui said, this is delicious, you can eat it, you can eat it too, I haven't even touched it. At this time, the dishes ordered by Lin Feng also came up one after another. How should I put it? There are many varieties. The dish was made fancy and the price was successfully made very beautiful. As for the taste, it was okay. The family ordered so many dishes, but they were not full yet, so they continued to order a few more. At 8:40, Lin Feng's family drove to leave. Xiao Rui waved, "Uncle, when are you coming to ride horses? Can you call me?" Lin Feng took out his mobile phone. "What's your phone number?" After recording the phone number, Lin Feng promised to come to ride horses next time. Or if he is free, call Xiao Rui and ask him to come to the house. Xiao Rui waved, "Goodbye." He glanced at Sanbao and said softly, "Goodbye." Sanbao was already tired and confused, opened his eyes and hummed in a daze. Except for Xiaoan, all the children fell asleep in the car. Lin Jiajin called him but he hung up, and then sent a message via WeChat. "Dad, I'm in the car. The 4 babies are asleep. It's inconvenient to answer the phone. Okay, call me when you get back." Okay. When I went out before, I encountered the rush hour after get off work and was stuck in traffic for more than 10 minutes. At this time, there are not many cars. Except for waiting for a few red lights, they didn't stop all the way. After calling a few times, the children were all confused. There was no choice but to carry them back. "Xiao Wen, you should also rest early. Let's take care of the 4 babies." Xiao Wen is only in the 1st grade of junior high school. How much strength can he have? The 4 babies have taken nutrient solution. They look like they are in the 3rd grade, but people would believe they are in the 5th grade. They are growing up quickly, and even Zhang Yuxi can't hold the boys. Her hands will be sore in less than 5 minutes. Lin Feng carried the children upstairs one by one. After he was done, Lin Feng remembered to water them. After he was done with everything, it was already past 11 o'clock. Zhang Yuxi had already fallen asleep sitting on the sofa. Lin Feng shook his head. This little fool, let her sleep by herself, and insisted on waiting. "Hubby. You guys go horseback riding by yourselves tomorrow. Don't you like it? It's so scary." Zhang Yuxi said in a daze. Lin Feng laughed and put the person away. Chapter 470 The Taste of Home. Xiaoan was in his room. He was video chatting with Lin Jiajin. "Dad, are you asleep?" "No, I'm waiting for your message and settling accounts." After that, the video chat came. Lin Jiajin had confirmed the news with Lin Feng and did not go out without permission today. "What did you do today? Why did you come back so late?" "We went horseback riding today, it was so fun." Lin Jiajin mocked his son. "Fun? How is that possible? I think playing games and reading novels is fun." Xiaoan choked and said with a smile, "Riding a horse is still fun." He could see that his son really liked riding a horse. "How much is it?" "I don't know, they don't have a price list. But it seems to be free." "Really? If you like, Dad will give you money to ride." Xiaoan hesitated and nodded. After a pause, he asked, "Dad, if I like something else, will you support me?" "Yes, as a man, I don't have to be proficient in everything, but I should know a little bit about each one. Whatever you like, as long as it's the right way, Dad will support you." Xiaoan asked, "What if I want to learn swimming, horse riding, or shooting?" Lin Jiajin was stunned for a moment. "Dad supports you and will give you money." Xiaoan felt warm in his heart. Lin Jiajin sighed. "In the past, our family was limited, and we could save some money after eating and drinking. It's different now, our family also has savings. No matter what you want to do, Dad will support you." Xiaoan was very touched and forced a smile. "I know, Dad, you go to bed early." "Okay, you go to bed early too." Xiaoan came out of the shower and his friend called, "Brother, how about going out to play?" "No." "Why? It's vacation, what else do you have to do?" "Anyway, I'm not going, go and have fun by yourselves." "Brother, I want to be a good person." Tisk, I don't believe in you. Believe it or not, just have fun by yourselves." "Okay, then do you have money? Transfer me 1 or 2,000, and I'll pay you back later." "Get lost, you have no money, you still owe me 5,000. "Damn, it's only 5,000, not 50,000 or 500,000. "Do you know how much 50,000 or 500,000 is?" Forget it, if you don't want to transfer it, then don't transfer it. We won't disturb you. Let's go." Xiaoan threw the phone away and looked at the ceiling above his head for a long time before falling asleep. The next day, Lin Feng was quite surprised to see Xiao Wen. "You got up so early, why don't you sleep a little longer?" Xiao Wen shook his head. I got up after I slept enough. The kitchen and the dining room are only a few steps away. There is also a small bar in the kitchen. Xiao Wen sat at the small bar and asked, Uncle, why don't you ask the aunt? Lin Feng sat at breakfast and said without raising his head, if you can handle it, you don't need to ask her. But you shouldn't ask her. The 4 treasures can help with housework now and can take care of themselves. Xiao Wen didn't understand. He obviously had money, so why did he have to do everything himself? Isn't it good to enjoy it? Lin Feng looked at Xiao Wen's expression and roughly guessed what he was thinking. If I ask the aunt to take care of everything, the aunt will take care of everything, and it doesn't feel like home. Do you like the food cooked by your mother or the food cooked by a stranger? Home, although it's harder to do it yourself, it's worth it. I can recall what each of them was like at each stage. Accompanying them to grow up is my most precious memory. You will know when you become a father. For a week in a row, Lin Feng took the children to the horse farm to ride horses. Children who like sports must have certain athletic talents. Look, Dabao, Sibao and Xiao can ride horses independently. Erbao and Sanbao can run for a distance now, but the horses cannot run too fast, and the coaches need to accompany them throughout the whole process. Zhang Yuxi was drinking tea, enjoying the air conditioning, and writing lesson plans. Mom. Zhang Yuxi raised her head and waved, come here, you are sweating all over. Sibao grinned, sat down to eat fruit, and looked very happy. Zhang Yuxi wiped her son's sweat with a wet tissue, and then wiped his hands carefully. You came here alone. They are still behind, I run the fastest. Seeing her son's proud expression, Zhang Yuxi reminded him. Ride slowly, what if you fall down if you run too fast? Mom will be so worried. Sibao patted his chest and said confidently, Mom, don't worry about this, my horse riding skills are the best, there is absolutely no problem. Zhang Yuxi stared at Sibao and said nothing. Seeing that her mother was angry, Sibao said quickly, don't worry, Mom. I will take good care of myself and won't ride too fast. Zhang Yuxi's expression eased a lot. If you want to eat something, ask the staff, don't drink cold drinks. Got it, Mom. Dabao, Sibao and others came one after another. Zhang Yuxi learned that they didn't ride horses anymore. Everyone, Mom will take you to take a bath. Erbao and Sanbao followed Zhang Yuxi obediently. Zhang Yuxi's backpack was filled with clothes for the 2 little princesses at home. After supervising the 2 children to take a bath, Zhang Yuxi came over to wipe their hair and blow dry their hair. Seeing that the baby girls were a degree darker, Zhang Yuxi decided to change the sunscreen next time. Mom, my legs hurt here. Zhang Yuxi immediately became nervous. What's wrong, Mom? Take a look. It turned out that Erbao's legs were rubbed red from riding horses, and it seemed that it was not caused by riding horses every day. Sanbao didn't have that much exercise, and Erbao used to ride horses, which made Zhang Yuxi feel distressed. Some of them were even broken. Sanbao, Mom, take a look. Sanbao is fine, just a little red, and it doesn't hurt. Mom will go to the staff to ask for some medicine later. It won't hurt after applying it. Just apply some medicine when you go back. After getting out of the bath, the boys were waiting outside. Honey, did Dabao and the others hurt their legs? Lin Feng turned his head to look at the children who were also playing. Come here, Daddy asks you, are your legs rubbed? Does it hurt? Sibao hesitated. Dad, my legs are red. Dabao also said, my legs are red too. Xiaoan also said that she was fine. It was indeed painful in the first few days, but it didn't hurt later. Honey, I'll go to the staff to ask for some medicine. After getting the medicine, Zhang Yuxi took her 2 daughters to the bathroom to spray it. Yunnan Baio spray hurts when sprayed, but it works quickly. Erbao cried out at once, Mom, it hurts so much? Bear with it, it will be fine in a while. Sanbao saw that it hurt so much, and quickly said that she didn't hurt, just a little red. Her own daughter, don't you know what she is thinking? Your sister Erbao has broken skin, so it hurts when you spray it. You don't have broken skin, so it doesn't hurt. Sanbao was half believing and half doubting, but he sprayed it and it really didn't hurt. Erbao seemed to have discovered something new. I don't feel any pain anymore, and I feel cool. Zhang Yuxi gave the medicine to Lin Feng. Lin Feng went to spray Sibao and Dabao, and also sprayed Xiaoan. When he saw it, I was shocked. Sibao's skin was broken. Okay. You don't feel any pain? No, I don't feel any pain. I'm a man. Seeing Sibayo's heartless look, Lin Feng was a little speechless. Sibayo has developed motor nerves, but he is simple-minded. After spraying it, Sibayo screamed a few times, "Dad, it hurts." "Didn't you say you are a man? You can't even stand this little pain." "But this hurts too much." "This medicine is used, and it won't hurt after a while. It's a rare cloudy day today, so I came early in the afternoon and can go home to eat." Chapter 471 Xiao Rui's Gift. In the blink of an eye, Sibayo and Zhang Yuxi are about to leave Guangzhou and go to Shanghai to prepare for their own performances. Every performance of Sibayo is attended by his family without exception. Zhang Yuxi uses a camera to record every performance of her child. On this day, Xiao Rui brought a gift and stood at the gate of the courtyard a little stiffly. "Can I come in?" "Sure." Sibayo smiled and opened the door for him. Behind Xiao Rui followed the aunt he met last time. This week, she occasionally met Xiao Rui at the horse farm. The relationship between the four treasures and Xiao Rui has become much closer. Xiao Rui handed the gift in his hand to Sibayo. "This is a gift for you." Sibayo was a little flattered. "Thank you." "Come on, we are playing on the swings." Xiao asked hurriedly, "Where's your Sibayo sister?" "She is here too." Sibayo was swinging on the swing, and Sibayo was on the tree, building a bird's nest with Lin Feng. Xiao Rui greeted Sibayo. "Hello." Sibayo smiled sweetly. "Hello." Sibayo looked sharp. "Brother Sibayo, what are you holding in your hand?" "I don't know, it's a gift from Xiao Rui." Xiao Rui said quickly, "It's some cookies." Sibayo was about to take action when Lin Feng called him. "Wait a minute, I'll be ready soon." Xiao Rui looked up and asked, "What are you doing?" Sibayo said loudly, "We are making a birdhouse. Birds may come here to build nests in the future." Xiao Rui's eyes lit up. "Really?" He walked closer and saw that it was a small wooden house suitable for birds to live in. It was painted with various colors, colorful and beautiful. In addition to this one, there are two more, a total of 3. Xiao Rui asked curiously, "Will there be birds?" Sibayo was not sure. "Maybe, Dad said that birds may come in autumn and winter." Lin Feng smiled and said, "In the first year, they don't know there is a home here. In the second year, the third year, there will always be a year when they will know." The children nodded heavily. Sibayo said confidently, "There are birds singing here every morning. There are many birds here." Xiao looked envious. "That's great." Lin Feng clapped his hands. "Okay." Sibayo swooped down from the tree like a little monkey. "Go wash your hands," Lin Feng reminded. Sibayo ran to the water pipe next to him and hurriedly washed his hands. "Let me taste it and see if it tastes good." Sibayo is not picky about food as long as it is not particularly unpalatable. Opening the box, it was full of small biscuits in various animal shapes, very beautiful. "It looks good and smells like cream." Sibayo took a bite. "So fragrant, delicious." Xiao said, "This is made by Auntie. My favorite biscuit is this biscuit. I think you should like it too." Sibayo also ran over after washing his hands. After tasting it, it tasted delicious. Sibayo fed Lin Feng one. It tasted delicious. He asked for the recipe and learned how to make it for the children. Sibayo was still swinging on the swing, and her brother and sister took turns feeding her, pampering her. Xiao walked over and asked, "Is it delicious?" Sibayo got down from the swing. "It's delicious. Thank you for your gift. Come play on the swing, it's fun, you'll definitely like it." Xiao coveted the swing as soon as he arrived, but he never showed it too much. Now, his happiness was beyond words. "Thank you." After sitting on it, Sibayo pushed him from behind. "Why did you come here today?" Xiao pursed his lips. "I'm free today." Sibayo got tired after pushing for a while and stood aside. "Swing by yourself." Sibayo had finished eating and clapped his hands. "Come on, I'll push." The higher he pushed, the bigger Xiaoru's smile became. "Wow, it's fun, I like it." Xiaoru's aunt looked worried. "Slow down, it's too high." After playing for a while, Xiaoru got down from the swing with a flushed face. "Wow, this tree is really great, and the swing is so fun." Sibayo said with a smile, "You can come to our house if you want to play in the future." "Really?" This question was asked to Lin Feng. Lin Feng had no objection. He never interfered with the children's friendship. "Sure, anyway, we don't have to go to school during the summer vacation." Sibayo sat on it. "Xiao, look at me, I can swing very high." Sibayo's swing was higher than Xiaoru's. "How about it?" Am I awesome? Zhang and his aunt were shocked. Zhang's eyes sparkled. Wow, you are awesome. Sibeo tried to stand up. I'll show you a trick. See, how about it? Zhang opened his mouth wide. It's awesome. Erbeo and his friends were already accustomed to Sibeo's operations. Erbeo smiled and said, my brother Dabeo and I can do it too, it's not difficult. After playing on the swings for a while, the children took Zhang to the vegetable garden. Zhang was envious. Wow, you are actually growing vegetables. Erbeo's sweet peppers grew the fastest, and it had already produced small sweet peppers during its period. I believe it won't be long before they can be eaten. The others are still in the flowering stage, and the cycle is about a month later than the bell peppers. Sanbeo's cowpeas have already densely climbed the small vines woven by Lin Feng. Xiaorui looked at them one by one, envious. You can also grow them yourself, you can plant them in pots. Well, for example, tomatoes, small bell peppers. Xiaorui said, our yard is full of flowers planted by my mother, she likes to plant all kinds of flowers. Come to our house, we have so many flowers in our yard, so beautiful. Erbeo smiled sweetly, great. Bell peppers need a lot of watering, so Erbeo must be more diligent. On the other side, it is the rose planted by Zhang Yuxi, which is already blooming against the wall. Zhang Yuxi is not interested in planting, but with the children, she has gradually become interested in raising flowers. Lin Feng bought a variety of roses, which bloom often, have gorgeous colors and are easy to raise. Zhang Yuxi will water them with the children and look forward to the results together. Lin Feng's voice rang out in the house, come in and eat watermelon. Xiaorui exclaimed after entering the house. Your house is so big. Lin Feng brought the cut fruits, come and eat watermelon and strawberries. Xiaorui is only in the 3rd grade, but his words and deeds reveal a sense of upbringing, and he eats very well. Lin Feng asked with a smile, do you have any plans for the afternoon? Dabeo said to Xiaorui, we have a lot of fun things at home, let's play games together. Xiaorui nodded, okay. Chapter 472 Accidental Injury. The children hurriedly ate the fruit and went to play. Lin Feng reminded them from behind, be careful when playing. Xiaorui's aunt has been watching closely. The children discussed it. They unanimously decided to go swimming in the outdoor pool. There are indoor and outdoor swimming pools in the manor, and both are in use. It takes a week to drain and store water in the swimming pool. In summer, the children like to play and swim every day. Sibeo is the little coach, passing on the knowledge learned in school to his brothers and sisters. They have to compete when they have nothing to do. In the small indoor swimming pool, the children changed into swimsuits, and Xiaorui wore a spare new one. After playing in the swimming pool for a while, Xiaorui's aunt took the children to change clothes. Not long after, Lin Feng's voice came over. Hurry up and wash your hands and eat. Lin Feng set the table, and the tableware for Erbeo and Sibeo had already been set. The children sat down one by one. Xiaorui sat in Sanbeo's seat, looking at a large table of delicious food, and swallowed unconsciously. His aunt sat next to him. Wait a minute, Dad will pour you some juice. This is the watermelon juice that Lin Feng has just squeezed, with a little sugar added and chilled for 5 minutes. Let's start eating. As soon as Lin Feng finished speaking, Sibeo was the first to pick up his chopsticks. Oh, Dad, your cooking is so delicious, I love you so much. The thing that Sibeo is most reluctant to leave Lin Feng is. Dad's cooking is really delicious, isn't it? Xiaorui tasted his favorite braised pork. The 4 treasures also like to eat meat, so whenever Lin Feng buys meat, he will buy pork belly. And it is premium pork belly, whether it is stir-fried or cooked in other ways, it is fat but not greasy. The pork with preserved vegetables that I made for the children some time ago, they all ate a lot. Wow, it's delicious. Lin Feng said with a smile, it's delicious, you should eat more. I have more over there, you can take some back later. Xiaorui waved his hand, eating and taking at the same time is not allowed. I can't accept this. Just think of it as a gift from your uncle. It's just some braised pork, not worth much. Everyone ate a lot at this meal. Whose turn is it to wash the dishes today? Erbeo raised his hand. Dad, it's my turn. Xiaorui said quickly, I'll wash with you and help. Erbeo smiled sweetly, thank you. After cleaning up the table, only Xiaorui and Erbeo were left in the kitchen. Erbeo was not tall enough, so he had to stand on a stool. Erbeo put on sleeves and a gown and washed the dishes skillfully. Turning his head, He saw that Xiao looked like he had no idea where to start, and he knew he had never done this before. You go play, I'll wash it. Xiao insisted on washing the dishes. I can do it. Okay, then you clean these dishes I washed, and there should be no foam. Okay. Erbao was still worried and reminded, check whether they are clean, and there should be no greasy feeling of detergent. I know what you mean. With a snap. However, the first bowl was broken. Everyone heard the sound and rushed over to take a look. Xiao Rui was in a hurry to pick up the broken pieces, and Lin Feng quickly stopped him. Don't move, uncle is coming, you will cut your hand. But it was too late. Xiao Rui had already cut his hand and was bleeding. Lin Feng carried the two children out of the kitchen, one in each hand, and then went to get the medicine box. Auntie didn't say anything, and looked at Xiao Rui with a very reproachful expression. The four treasures were a little nervous. Especially the second treasure, who kept comforting Xiao Rui. The fourth treasure also said, don't be afraid, it's my first time washing dishes. Although I didn't cut my fingers, I still accidentally broke a bowl. The first treasure comforted, the bowl is not worth much, as long as people are fine. Don't be afraid, we have a medicine box at home. Xiao Rui looked at the wound and was a little scared, and his little face was tense all the time. Lin Feng took the medicine box to disinfect Xiao Rui's wound. The wound was not big, and after cleaning, he just put on a band-aid. Although the bleeding was fierce at the beginning, it didn't bleed much later. Xiao Rui was embarrassed and said self-blamingly, I'm sorry uncle, I broke your bowl. What a cunt child. Lin Feng touched his hair lovingly, it's okay, one bowl is nothing. Xiao Rui turned around and apologized to Erbao, I'm sorry, I can't help you in any way. Erbao shook his head, the thought is the most important, this is nothing. Lin Feng cleaned up the kitchen, packed a braised pork, and packed some homemade biscuits and snacks for Xiao Rui. It was 7 o'clock and it was almost dark. Xiao Rui's aunt was already urging, we should go back. Lin Feng handed the bag to her, take this. Aunt took a look, this. It's not valuable, I made them all, go back and give them to Xiao Rui to try. If you like it, I'll make some for him next time. Aunt smiled and said, thank you. You're welcome. Xiao Rui didn't want to leave, and looked back every few steps, wanting to stay. In the end, he left. In the car. Aunt sighed, you said you can't wash dishes, what are you going to do? Xiao Rui said lightly, you can't eat other people's food and not do anything, right? Aunt asked, is it really for this? Xiao Rui didn't say anything, and noticed the pocket on the passenger seat. What is this? This is a gift from the father of the four treasures, all food. Xiao Rui opened it and counted, there are 6 delicious things. Uncle cooks, it's really delicious. Yeah, it's really delicious. Xiao Rui opened the snack box and tasted it, wow, delicious. Aunt smiled. Xiao Rui put these away carefully, when will my mother be back? I called to ask, it will be 10 o'clock. Oh. Xiao Rui looked outside, thinking back to the lively Lin Feng's house, and felt envious. Erbao called Xiao Rui. Xiao Rui, it's me. I called to tell you that you must not get your injured fingers wet. Thank you, I know. Well, come and play often in the future. We all have a lot of fun. Me too. I won't talk to you anymore, I'm going to video chat with my mother. Okay. Every night. Lin Feng always video chats with Zhang Yuxi and Sanbao. Zhang Yuxi learned that Xiao was visiting their home today, and also learned that Xiao was injured. Call Xiao in a few days to see if he's recovered. Erbao nodded heavily, feeling that he was also responsible. After all, he was helping him wash the dishes, and ended up scratching his finger, so he felt a little guilty. But after being comforted by Lin Feng and Zhang Yuxi, Erbao's mood improved. He became less guilty. And the time for Sanbao's performance was also set. It will be held in 3 days. If they have nothing to do tomorrow, they can set off. Thinking of meeting Sanbao, Erbao and the others were very excited. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 473. Do you want to go abroad? At 10 o'clock in the evening, Lin Feng was reading a book when Lin Jiajin called to thank him. Oh my god, Mr. Lin. I really want to thank you. Lin Feng was puzzled. Thank me for what? You don't know, Xiaowen has changed since he came back. He helps with housework, loves to study, and rarely goes out. Lin Feng was puzzled. Why thank me? Maybe Xiaowen has come to his senses. He thought he didn't do anything. First, he didn't talk to Xiaowen, and second, he didn't talk about those big truths. He just asked him to do housework and ride horses together. Lin Jiajian's tone was very relieved. Maybe, but if you say he has come to his senses, it was you who came to his senses. I have to thank you anyway. Let's put it this way, whatever you want to eat, I'll treat you. Lin Feng smiled faintly. I have to go abroad in the next few days, treat me when I come back. Lin Jiajian also knew that Sanbao was going to compete, and he couldn't help but start to blame himself. You said I've been in Guangzhou for a while, and as an uncle I've never been to see Sanbao's performance. I really feel bad. Lin Feng said, if you didn't go, then you didn't go. What would happen to the business if you went? It would take us a few days to come back. In short, it takes about a week to go back and forth. As for Lin Jiajian, it would be strange if he agreed to not look after the store for a week. As he was talking, he heard Xiaowen's voice. Dad, you didn't sleep? What are you doing? I'm chatting with your uncle Lin Feng. They are going abroad tomorrow. Do you want to go? Dad will pay. Xiaowen was a little confused. Going abroad? I don't even have a passport. Lin Jiajian said, your mom has applied for you. She said you might be able to use it. Do you want to go? Xiaowen frowned. Will this be too much trouble for uncle? Lin Feng's voice came. No trouble, Xiaowen wants to go. Let's go together. I'm just about to buy a ticket. Lin Jiajian couldn't help but feel a little grateful. Thank you, Mr. Lin. I'll transfer the money to you later. You don't need to pay. One person can't spend much money. You still have to pay. After hanging up the phone, Lin Jiajian hurriedly asked his son to pack up. This is Xiaowen's first time going abroad. Thinking about it, he is still a little excited. Lin Jiajian supervised his son to pack up and transferred 50,000 to Lin Feng's bank account. This amount of money is nothing to Lin Feng. But he can't do nothing. What's the difference between this and taking advantage? Transfer it, in case Lin Feng doesn't accept it, and return it within 24 hours. Lin Jiajian didn't want his son to miss this opportunity. Your uncle said that the flight is at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, so we have to arrive at the airport at 9 o'clock and leave at 8 o'clock. So you should pack up and go to bed quickly. Hey, I said, isn't it time to cut your hair? You pack up first, I'll wake up your mother. Xiaowen. Wang Lu was telling a story to her little son and fell asleep in a daze. Wife? Wife? Wang Lu narrowed her eyes and asked, what's wrong, husband? Get up, I need you to do something. I don't know if it was because Lin Jiajian's expression was too serious or his tone was too serious. Wang Lu woke up with a start. Did Xiaowen sneak out to surf the internet again? This little bastard, he's been quiet for just a few days, and his old habit has come back again. Lin Jiajian quickly comforted his wife. No, don't get excited, I just asked you to cut Xiaowen's hair. Wang Lu thought she had heard it wrong. What the hell? Cut hair? Why? Are you crazy? Alice, my wife's temper is getting worse and worse. Stop talking nonsense, my son is going abroad with Lin Feng tomorrow, you should go and tidy up your hair. Going abroad? When? I made a sudden decision 5 minutes ago. Wang Lu didn't say anything else, holding her breath to teach Lin Jiajian a lesson later. Wang Lu, how did you become a barber? This has to start with Xiaowen's younger brother Xiaocheng. Xiaocheng is the same as Dabao. He doesn't like to cut his hair since he was a child. Once he goes to the barber shop, it's like his life is wasted. So he followed suit, bought a hair clipper, and came back to cut his hair himself. For the child, a short buzz cut is fine. But the child grew up slowly, and seeing all kinds of hairstyles on the street, Wang Lu thought that it wouldn't work. We have to have some hairstyles too. So, slowly figured it out, and became a half-baked barber. Anyway, there are only a few hairstyles, and he is mysteriously confident that the barbers outside are not as good as himself. So, under this kind of confidence, the next target is Lin Jiajian. You're married and have 2 children. What's wrong with being a little ugly? Do you have other ideas in your mind? I just said that the hairstyle is ugly, and you said so much to me. Okay, you cut it. You can cut it as you like. Just like that, With Lin Jiajun as a practice, Wang Lu turned her target to Xia Aoun. With the case of Lin Jiajun, Xia Aoun still trusted Wang Lu very much. Wang Lu took out the things and saw that her son had already prepared them. "Come, Mom will cut your hair." Click, click, it was trimmed. Xia Aoun was handsome and not ugly. But he couldn't be compared with someone like Lin Feng, who would be crushed into slag immediately. Xia Aoun was still very satisfied and went to take a shower. "Pack up and go to bed, I'll call you tomorrow morning." Wang Lu was sober now. "Why do you want to go abroad?" Lin Jiajun said as a matter of course. "Of course, to see the world. Look at how long Xia Aoun has been with Lin Feng, and such a big change has taken place. There must be a reason. As for what the reason is, I don't know, but it must be right to let Xia Aoun spend more time with Lin Feng." Wang Lu nodded. "Xia Aoun is in junior high school, it's time to broaden his horizons. He has seen a lot, and his ideas are different." This idea coincided with Lin Jiajun's. "That's right. You see, I can't leave now. I'm worried about you taking Xia Chang with you all day and letting the three of you go abroad. I want to go with you, but I don't have the time." Lin Jiajun thought so too, so it's good to take this opportunity to let Xia Aoun see the world. Wang Lu yawned. "I'll take Xia Aoun to the airport tomorrow, you go to bed early after you're done." "Okay, I still have some time on hand, you go to bed first." The next day, Wang Lu took advantage of the younger son's sleep. When leaving, she told Lin Jiajun to look after the child, and drove all the way to the airport. Xia Aoun had only taken a few flights since he was a child, and this was his first time going abroad. He was excited for a long time last night, and fell asleep with uneasiness and nervousness. Lin Feng's family was already waiting at the airport, and they needed to take Xia Aoun's ID to get the plane ticket. Wang Lu was worried about her younger son, so she brought Xia Aoun to Lin Feng, and after giving him detailed instructions, she hurried back. "Mr. Lin, I'm sorry to trouble you. You can scold this kid if he doesn't listen, and I'll deal with him later. I'm leaving first. Jiajun has to go to the store after 9 o'clock, and I have to go back to see the younger one." It takes Wang Lu about 50 minutes to drive, and it takes about 2 hours to go back and forth, so she didn't dare to waste time. Lin Feng went to get the ticket, and after a series of procedures, he got on the plane. Seeing that Xia Aoun didn't sleep well, Lin Feng smiled and said, "This flight is quite far, about 10 hours, you can sleep on the plane for a while." The flight time plus the time difference meant that when Lin Feng and his friends arrived, it was night time there, so they could have a good sleep. Lin Feng bought first-class tickets, which were comfortable. This made the 10-hour flight not so unbearable. The airplane food was not delicious, but even so, Lin Feng had to supervise them to eat it. After all, this was not a short-distance flight. Chapter 474 Heading to France. Finally, after 11 hours of flight, the group arrived at their destination. The hotel car was waiting for them. Lin Feng got in and spoke to the driver in fluent French. The driver also enthusiastically gave them roses to welcome them. Outside, the night was charming. It was already 2 o'clock in the morning, and there were few people on the streets, only bright neon lights. Not far away, the glittering Eiffel Tower could be seen. Arrived at the hotel, the staff handed the room card to Xia Aoun, who was on the same floor as Lin Feng. Lin Feng used fluent French to ask the staff to prepare some food and send it to Xia Aoun and his room. Before Zhang Yuxi went, she booked a double room. After Lin Feng came, he changed to parent-child suite. Lin Feng led the confused and tired children to the room. Zhang Yuxi woke up, and the couple, including Xia Aoun, packed up the children. Lin Feng whispered to Zhang Yuxi, "Wife, I'll take Xia Aoun to her room first." "Okay." After finding Xia Aoun's room, Lin Feng said, "The staff will come to deliver the food in a while. Call me if you have any questions." Xia Aoun nodded, "Okay uncle, you should go back soon too." As he was talking, the staff came with a food cart. Lin Feng asked, "Has room 8019 been delivered?" The staff said, "Not yet." "Then no need to deliver it, I'll eat here too." The two of them had a simple meal before Lin Feng went back. As soon as he opened the door, he saw Zhang Yuxi's figure coming over, which scared Lin Feng. "Honey, why did you take so long? We had a meal in Xia Aoun's room." The next morning, the children woke up and found that they had arrived at their destination. "I was so confused about what happened last night that I didn't remember much. I only remember that I followed Lin Feng into the car in a daze, and I didn't remember anything else. Sanbeo hugged his eyes, and when he opened his eyes, he saw Sanbeo and others, and was surprised and happy. You are here. Yes. After a good sleep, the children recovered their spirits and became lively again. Lin Feng woke up on time. After all, he was a person with a system. Miao Lang and Max were in another room. Lin Feng sent a message to Xiao Wen, saying that he was going to buy food and would bring it to him later. He asked him to stay in the room first and not leave. After all, this is in France, and French is spoken. Zhang Yuxi has learned some French from Lin Feng in the past few years, and can communicate simply with the children. She can understand what the other party is saying. Otherwise, this trip would not be easy at all. Lin Feng went to the bank outside the hotel, changed money, and then took his wife and children to have breakfast. Well, the time is just right. They don't eat breakfast, so they started eating at this time. The nearby restaurant is still very considerate and prepared a picture menu for foreign tourists. Well, it's all what the children like to eat. After breakfast, I brought some back to Xiao Wen and started to arrange today's itinerary. Sanbeo is almost ready, so he can relax and have fun before the performance. Lin Feng plans to go to the Louvre during the day and then take a cruise back. So, get ready. The weather here is not much different from that in Guangzhou. Everyone was very excited when they thought about going to the world's top 4 museums. After arriving, they realized that they were very lucky this time. There are many collections in the museum. The 6 exhibition halls are basically open only on Mondays and Wednesdays. The other 4 days are open in turn, and only half of them are open on Sundays, and the exhibits only account for 1/3,990 of the total collection. And today happens to be Wednesday. Xiao pointed to a place and said, I know this place. A movie was filmed here. It said that there is a Mary below. Lin Feng came over and said, I know, this is the location of the code. There were young people working part-time when I went to the museum before. I don't know if there are any here. Lin Feng didn't see it at the moment. Zhang Yuxi, keep an eye on your children, I'll go buy tickets. There were many people today, and Lin Feng came out after buying the tickets and breathed a sigh of relief. When he looked at the entrance of the pyramid square, there were already many people queuing up, and his brows frowned. At this time, a young man came over. Hi, do you need help? He spoke in English. Lin Feng asked in fluent French, what can I do for you? The other party probably didn't expect Lin Feng's French to be without any dialect, so he couldn't help but correct his attitude. Do you need my help? I can be your guide. Here is my ID. But you need to buy me a ticket and pay my fees. Lin Feng didn't want to give the other party the impression that he was easy to talk to. How much? In fact, the price didn't matter to Lin Feng. Without comparison, it was unknown whether the other party was asking for an exorbitant price. Lin Feng's aura was there. The young man pursed his lips and said the price. Seeing that Lin Feng didn't say anything, he reduced the number again. It can't be any less. This price is already very low. Lin Feng was a little skeptical about the other party's professionalism, and the young man quickly took out his student's ID in his pocket. He said that he was studying history and knew a lot. The most important thing is to know the language of your own country. The young man said no problem. He not only studied history, but also language. When he spoke, there was a smell of plastic, but he could understand. Lin Feng finally agreed. If he was not satisfied, he would come again another day and hire a professional guide. Lin Feng gave him money and asked him to queue up to buy the ticket. Come on, follow me. The young man led Lin Feng and a few others around. Zhang Yuxi was a little worried, wondering if they had encountered some bad guys. Lin Feng was also a little nervous, and he comforted his wife, don't be afraid, it's okay. The family followed the young man to the Lion Gate entrance and found that there were only a few people queuing here. The young man explained, you foreign tourists generally don't know this place. It's hard to find here, and you usually can't find it. After checking the tickets, they arrived at the Louvre. The young man said familiarly, go this way. While explaining, he led Lin Feng forward. We have 6 major exhibition centers, including the Art Museum, Treasure Museum, Painting Museum and Sculpture Museum. Among them, the Painting Museum has the most exhibits and occupies the largest area. You can't appreciate all the rare treasures in 1 or 2 days. But if you want to see it all at once, then I will take you to see the main ones, Venus, Mona Lisa and so on. After arriving, Lin Feng's family, including Zhang, were shocked by this place. No need, just come normally. The young man smiled and said, no problem. He saw that Sabeo was very curious and probably wanted to ask if they were quadruplets, and his eyes were full of gossip. But he still didn't say a word. His professional knowledge is indeed very strong. Occasionally, when he talked about history with Lin Feng, he would be very surprised. I didn't expect you to know this. You know, this is unpopular knowledge. Lin Feng smiled faintly. I like reading. Urbeo said in French, my dad is super good, he knows everything. This was the first time the young man heard the children speak French. Yes, your dad is great. You speak French very well. Are you guys, all quadruplets? Urbeo nodded, of course, look how much we look alike. The young man opened his mouth wide for a few seconds, then swallowed his surprise. Yes, you do look alike. Chapter 475 People always need to change. Mona Lisa in the Denon Pavilion, the Winged Victory at the top of the Daru stairs, and Venus in Hall 36. These treasures are all must-sees. There is also a huge oil painting of the coronation. Just like before, there were many people standing in front of the painting. Raymond Lamb held the children one by one to take turns to look at them. Sometimes they just want to have fun, but the young man's explanation is very vivid and interesting. The four treasures like it very much and are fascinated by it. You can stay here for a whole day. It is impossible to introduce every work in detail. Raymond Lamb and his friends came at the right time. There is a late show on Wednesday night, and you can play until almost 10 o'clock. Seeing that the children are very energetic, they simply play until later. The young man is a playful person and mentioned many places suitable for taking children to play. After a day of fun at the Louvre, Lin Feng left his phone number. Are you free tomorrow? Of course I am. I'm at your service anytime. The young man looked at the time. It was only 9 o'clock. You can take a boat trip. There are food on the boat, and the scenery on both sides is very good. Lin Feng invited the other party to join. Can you come with us? This is my first time. I need a tour guide. Of course, no problem. They rented a very expensive boat. Why? Because the food and beverages inside are good. Lin Feng wants the children to eat better. On the deck, everyone sat down to eat special food. The young man explained while eating. This is the second largest river in the center of Lizhao, and many famous buildings are surrounded on both sides. The north bank is called the right bank, which is the business district and political center. The south bank is called the left bank, with famous coffee shops and full of literary and artistic atmosphere. There are many bridges on it, and the most spectacular and magnificent one is the Alexander II Bridge. The night view is very beautiful at night. Except for Sabeo, the children put down their food and went to see the architectural scenery on both sides. Of course, this did not affect Sabeo's view of the scenery. After a day of sightseeing, everyone was tired. The young tour guide made a phone call gesture. I'll wait for you here at 10 o'clock tomorrow. See you there. Okay. He waved goodbye to the four treasures again. Bye, you are so beautiful and cute. My heart is about to be melted by you. Good night, little angels. It's worthy of being friends, eh? Arriving at the hotel, the children took a bath and fell asleep on the bed. Zhang Yuxi frowned. Husband, the children didn't eat much today. Lin Feng was also distressed. You rest first. I'll go talk to the hotel and see if I can use the kitchen to cook something for the children. Zhang Yuxi nodded. With money, Lin Feng quickly got the hotel's consent to let him cook for the children. I don't know where Miaolang and Max went these days. I'm afraid they will be busy with other things when I go back to the hotel on the day of the competition. On the other side, Zhang called Lin Jiajin. It was still afternoon there due to the 7-hour time difference. Lin Jiajin just dozed off for a while, and when he saw his son's energetic look, he immediately perked up. What did you do today? Zhang described what he saw and heard today in vivid detail, and Lin Jiajin was fascinated. Son, it's not bad. The farthest your dad has been is Thailand. How was it? Did you have fun today? Zhang nodded heavily, super happy. Unconsciously, he talked to Lin Jiajin. I didn't like studying history and geography before, but now, I think they are very interesting. Lin Jiajin encouraged his son, then study hard, you will know more in the future and your horizons will be broadened. Zhang talked about the cruise again. Dad, the scenery on both sides is really beautiful. When I make money in the future, I will take you here to play. Lin Jiajin agreed loudly. Okay. You said it, don't forget it. Xiaoan smiled and said, I won't forget it. Xiaoan's social circle is very small. Apart from playing games and watching videos on his mobile phone, he goes to school. He thinks that is his life and his world. Anyway, his family has a house, a car and savings, so his future will not be too bad. At least I don't have to worry about buying a house. The worst thing that can happen is that I won't have a good life in the future. I can come back and open a small shop. That's it, as long as I don't starve to death. This is Xiaoan's worst plan for life deep in his heart. Therefore, he doesn't care about academic performance or something like that. After all, he has a way out. But Xiaoan is young after all, and has experienced and seen too little. People always have to change. Early the next morning, Lin Feng went to the hotel kitchen and made some porridge and some side dishes for the children. Drinking some warm porridge, the children were very satisfied in the morning. That day, the young man took them to visit the Eiffel Tower, which was so beautiful that it shocked people's hearts. Come at night, it will be more beautiful here, the whole tower is glowing. The young man looked at Lin Feng again and whispered, Do you have money? We are going to the Champs-Élysées, there are so many luxury brands there. After all, women like to go crazy shopping when they go out. Lin Feng smiled and said, We have the money. Then let's go. The young man introduced, It starts from the Place de la Concorde in the east and ends at the Place Charles de Gaulle in the west, which is the Arc de Triomphe. It is the queen of the center of many streets. With a polka dot square as the boundary, the Champs-Élysées can be divided into two parts. The eastern section is dominated by natural scenery, with flat English lawns on both sides, allowing us to stroll under the French plane trees, which is very poetic. The western section is the commercial district, with many world-famous brands on display, and this street is well known. Now, the sun is shining, let's go. This is simply a luxurious street, with luxury goods everywhere. The boys are not interested in this, but Urbeo and Sanbeo are interested. Urbeo is determined to become a jewelry designer. Where there is jewelry, there is her. Sanbeo is also a girl. No matter how Buddhist she is, she likes those dazzling things. Zhang Yuxi is not very interested in buying clothes, but she thought of buying one for the two mothers. Zhao Lizian is thin and Zhou Qilan is fatter, so she chose a coat for each of them. I bought another piece for Lin Feng, and gave him a tag ornament from the young man's store. The young man was a little flattered and said, Cool, I like it, I really let you spend money. The tag design is very unique, and the shape is exaggerated, which suits him very well. Then, I went to the jewelry store to have a look. The four treasures moved slowly in front of the counter, staring at the jewelry and diamonds on display. The boys, including Xiaoan, sat on the sofa reading magazines. Lin Feng sat down, and the young man pouted, Maybe we have to wait a while, women's shopping will not end so easily. Let's go. Lin Feng asked, Don't you like it? How is it possible? I want to buy the whole store. But shopping still requires rationality. Zhang Yuxi recalled that she already has a lot of jewelry. There is no need to spend more money. Moreover, if she wants to buy something, it must be something she likes at first sight. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.